I had to do this without the sound. This is like the fourth week in a row, and I can't seem to hear the music after I hit start. So I apologize, everybody. I'm not coming in with my 1 second reaction to welcome everybody here, but we definitely do. Thank you for being here at the College Football Mafia for the Big Freaking Friday show. I'm your host, Nathan Bomber Brown. With me is my co-host, partner, this way over here would be Moen After Dark. How are you doing tonight, Moen?
Good. Hey, Nate, why don't you click media assets and scroll down and make sure you're not muted on the sound or turn up your sound. That's probably why you're not hearing things.
Okay, I'll do that a little bit later. You can remind me. That's
okay. I'm doing well.
Good.
It's Easter Friday, so I went and collected eggs today from all the chickens, and I got a big smorgasbord of all different colors, so I don't have to worry about dyeing any eggs. So
that's kind of how it goes, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of that season. Hey, have you guys gotten this cold stretch? We've actually got snow for the first time in 4 months in the state of Utah. It's absolutely nuts.
It was around 80. It was hovering around 80 degrees.
Wow.
This afternoon here in Ohio with the humidity. So
is that normal?
It's supposed to get down to 30 tomorrow morning, and then it's supposed to be back right up near 80 in the afternoon. So that's Ohio weather. If it's the most manic bipolar weather you're going to find in the United States of America. You know, one day it'll be 80 degrees, the next day you'll have 6 feet of snow,
right.
And then you'll have the melt, and it'll all run off, and you'll have just nothing but mud for 4 months.
You are literally describing spring in Wyoming, North and South Dakota.
Yeah,
it's just absolutely brutal. The wind mostly causes the problems there. But anyway, I appreciate everybody being here tonight. It is a Friday evening. We try to have a little fun. We got people's blood going. We'll have some discussions and debates, but we're all doing it for you. So we're going to be here. We're going to take your comments and questions after we go, or as we go through the different news items from this last week. And today we had an executive order pop up, and boy, we'll talk about that. You guys know that the story about the spat between Brett Yormark and Cody Campbell is just, I don't even know what to say. It's beyond sort of ridiculous to me, but we'll talk about that first. But regardless, I want everybody to make sure you understand we're here for you, and we want to take your comments and questions. We'll be here probably around a couple hours, so everybody can settle in. And we invite you to follow us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube. And Moen, how do they become a member of the College Football Mafia family?
To become a member of the College Football Mafia family, leave a super chat, leave a super sticker, all the things that help us keep the lights on here at the College Football Mafia. You click that little cash icon at the bottom of the chat window. From there, you will have the options to become a member, gift a membership, leave a super chat, leave a super sticker, and all of those were appreciated regardless of what you choose.
I absolutely love that. One other thing we want to explain is Ute's going to be a little bit late. So I think we're going to start off, even before we get to news, we'll just do shout outs right off the bat. You okay with that tonight?
Mm-hmm.
What are you, don't drink from the bottle, Moen. Don't do that.
It's easier that way.
Oh my hell. Okay. Alcohol is not the answer, people. That's all I'm saying. All right, here we go. Buckshot Kid in the house. He is first saying, oh, hey, at the College Football Mafia. Thank you so much, Buckshot. It's great to have you here and being around with us. We really, really appreciate it. Evil Badger, the Ryan Willie. Do you have an update on him this week?
Yeah, I texted him. He texted me today. I texted him back. Good to see you, Ryan. I meant to text you Happy Easter this afternoon when I mass texted people, but I forgot because, but I'll send you a picture of some eggs, Ryan, because that's what I did for everybody. I sent them pictures of my chicken eggs.
He certainly did. What are you doing for your girlfriend this weekend?
I'm cooking turkey on Sunday. So,
hey.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, that's cool. Let's see here. Outlaw Skies, a valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. Somebody who's become real active, and we appreciate him a ton. You can tell he's a member because he has that little special icon next to his name. We like to call those out and call attention to them because these are people that are subscribed to the channel and have also decided to join us as full full-time members. I always say that wrong. Anyway, he is 5th in the house, he says. Go Buckeyes. Thank you so much, Outlaw Skies. I only count 3, so I don't think you're 5th, but whatever. It's great to see you. Jose is in the house and says, capitalist versus communist, Moen.
Yeah, Comrade Cody. That's what we call him, Comrade Cody.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We'll talk about it. It's not communism there. Anyway, we'll talk about it in a bit, Jose. Fergie, FF18 buffs in the house. Sko buffs. We'll say that off the top. Not only is he a member of the College Football Mafia family, also contributor that we really, really appreciate his content. Sko buffs, not late this time. Hey, Jose, how about community over capitalism? College football belongs to all of us. How about that one, Nolan?
That's fine. I mean, you can have Colorado can have college football. Ohio State can have college football. They don't need to be in a super conference to do that. They don't need to distribute funds from wealthier schools to less wealthy schools to achieve that. And I also don't think community pooling of resources is going to get a better media deal.
Let me say that again.
I don't believe the pooling of resources, like media resources.
Okay. Yeah, taking the media rights.
I don't believe that gets you a higher deal.
I think it's I would agree with you. I don't think it's higher necessarily, but I do think the schools that are already making a ton of money would make that same amount of money. I think you could do that. So anyway, that's a more long-term problem that college football landscape has to deal with right now. We've got so many other issues that all of a sudden has not become so apparent. All of a sudden, nobody's talking about media values, are they? You got other things that are on their mind this offseason. Skaven, yes, in the house. Go Big Red. Good to have you here, Skaven. Skaven's also a member of the College Football Mafia family. Hello, gentlemen. He says, Moen.
Good to see you, Skaven. Go Big Red.
Go Big Red. Bob Swinger, the Penn State Nittany Lion in the house. OG member of the College Football Mafia family. We appreciate him so much. It's always good to have different opinions in the house, and that's what we have around here. Bob, thank you so much for being here tonight. Hey, everyone, he says. I want to bring this up because I was reminded of one of the greatest memes ever in the history of mankind. And Moen, can you find that sounder for me?
Yeah, I'm sure I can find Leroy Jenkins. I mean, okay. I might have to travel back in time to 2003 when it was.
I think it was maybe 2004, 2005, but World of Warcraft, and you have to be a video gamer of some report to understand that inside joke. Antoine Johnson, good to see you here. Antoine Johnson represents the ASU, Sun Devils, right? I've never seen or read anything that involved the wealthy in communism giving resources to the poor. The wealthy in China are not redistributing their wealth, so the poor have more. I actually know how they're doing the distribution in China. I've done some work in China. Moen, do you have any comment about that?
Yeah, I mean, of course it doesn't. It's only communism when you're redistributing your own wealth. That's not what Cody Campbell wants to do. Cody Campbell wants to keep all his wealth. By the way, I paid $4.02 at the pump this week. Cody Campbell, I expect you to chip in. Wow. The gas is $4 a gallon. I want you to chip in and help cover me some of my energy costs. Cody Campbell doesn't want to do that, but he wants Ohio State, Michigan, and all these other schools at the top of the NCAA to contribute to make sure that every other school is whole. If we're talking community, I think Cody Campbell should get together with all the energy people and get the gas prices down for the common American.
Very good. I love that. That was a great rant, Moen, actually. I love that. Daniel, the other Gygax in the house, contributor, moderator, and somebody that always does a little bit around here every week. We appreciate Daniel. I don't know if we saw a video from Daniel last week, but I'm sure he'll have one out soon. He says, hi, everyone. I'll watch later. I'm still on vacation in Las Vegas. Okay. I know the weather has changed. Normally, right now, last week, I think it was in the late 80s. In Las Vegas. I'm not sure what it is now. We had a cold front come through, but Manic Reaction saying, what up, gents? Good to see you, Manic. It's great to have you here. Love Sports 9883. Is this a new one for you, Moen? Let's go, Mountaineers.
I believe so. I don't recall seeing Love Sports, but I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
Love Sports, thank you for being here. Make sure you subscribe and follow us on Twitter. We do a lot of work and a lot of fun stuff. You might not agree with us, but one thing you can't say is we're not trying hard to find out and inform others. We are trying to do that.
By the way, Nate, can I just put this out here for April? We're going to be releasing a lot more videos. We're doing a campaign for 6K by May to hit 6,000 subscribers. So you're going to see a lot more videos popping up, a lot more Moen confidentials, new member videos. It should be a lot of activity on the channel this month. So make sure you're definitely subscribed. Make sure you turn on those notifications. And since it is April, let's go ahead and gift some memberships.
Let's go.
5 to the community right now. 5 new members are joining the family.
Let's go.
Antoine Johnson, good to see you again as a member again. Justine Vaughn, Sean Bryant, Jay Wally, and James Wilson. You are all now members of the College Football Mafia family. Welcome. Awesome. Please enjoy our library of members-only content, and we look forward to serving the members further this April. Lots of stuff coming around. Lots of stuff coming around the corner, man. You just can't stop college football this time of year.
We do tend to thrive in the offseason. This offseason has been extraordinary. And I'm just going to say this to the community right now. We appreciate you guys so much. The community we have is unique. And doesn't necessarily appeal to everybody. But you're the smartest ones out there. And you always ask the best, most incisive questions. And we appreciate you. The stuff we're doing isn't really to enrich ourselves. I promise you that. It's to get you guys content that we've turned into this fantastic hobby that is College Football Mafia. And we want you to know it really matters to us. So if there's more we can do, leave comments, questions after the video. If you're watching this offline, leave a comment. Let us know how we're doing, because we read those. We react to those, and we do try to do and improve things later. So just a blank statement. Just want to make sure everybody knows we're doing that. Mark's Holy Grail in the house. Good to have you here, Mark. Good evening, guys. Lots of fun stuff to talk about tonight. That's true. There is.
Yeah, this is, hey, listen, Mark's Holy Grail. He's got to celebrate. This is the most apropos holiday for Mark's Holy Grail.
It's right. Yeah.
I mean, not often. Once a year, he's got to use that username. So good looking out.
There you go. I love it. That's exactly right. Clint Moses representing the Oregon State Beavers. Good to have you here, Clint. Wild Ute is busy knocking boots. Yeah, I don't know about that. He has a very busy schedule. I bet. I mean, I wish him luck if that's what he's doing.
He has to schedule that. That's scheduled too.
I've met his wife. She's smart cookie, so I don't know how that would work. BYU Football Shonsky in the house. He's an OG member, regardless if he's a joined member or not. Moen Ryan Days, clown of all coaches, talking about a high school draft during an interview. I must say, I'm going to comment before Moen does. It's an absolutely ridiculous idea to have a draft in college football. If you're going to do that, you might as well just not call it college football anymore. Just call it NFL light.
But that was the point Ryan Day was
college football.
That was the point Ryan Day was making. We're in a halfway point. We're either going full pro and drafting kids out of high school, or we can go back to amateurism. It's not going to work both ways. So we either go full pro or we figure it out.
Are you giving him grace there? Because his quote did not look like that. His quote looked like,
I know what his quote looked like.
I think a draft would work and it would be better. That's exactly what he said. So
he did, but I mean, if we're gonna go full pro, that's one of the things you got to do with full pro. I mean, especially I think Cody Campbell would love that idea. He loves spreading the wealth, as it were. We can spread draft picks for high school kids. So, but I don't think we're getting towards a draft. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think he was just making the point that, hey, we're stuck in this halfway stance. We're either going to go full pro or we're going to have to figure things out and go back to some kind of amateurism model. As much of an amateurism model as we can get to.
I think I appreciate that. I think that's very, very fair. Bulldog Mississippi, new OG member. I'm going to call him OG because he has become so active since he got here. We really appreciate you, Bulldog. Thanks for being here tonight. Evening Mafia is what he says, representing the Mississippi Bulldogs in the house.
Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Sorry. Yep. Thank you very much, Bowen. I appreciate that. Let's get a few more unique posts in here. Let's see. Oh, and there's your gifted memberships. I should have pulled that up when you were talking. I'm sorry. Carla R. Jenkins in the house. Good to have you, Carla. Always follow Carla R. Jenkins on Twitter. I don't know how she does it, but she's constantly posting videos that really make sense out of YouTube. Maybe there's others that are out there. I've seen them mostly YouTube, but they're always on point, very, very topical, and I really, really appreciate the stuff she does for us because she repeats our shows all the time. Anyways, says Daniel, Guy Gax has to root for the Mountaineers. So he does. I mean, that's true. Oh my gosh, look at this. Somebody is drinking and driving, Moen. What are you doing? Get home and quit driving.
He's been dry for 2 months, guys.
The show in 5 minutes, been dry for 2 months. 1 beer, 2 whiskey, or 3 seltzer. Moen, put that up there.
We already voted. It's whiskey, and he's drinking Glenlivet.
Oh, I'm sorry. When did that vote happen? I didn't participate.
I took it.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. That's fine. Okay. All right. So Utes on his way. There's obviously more comments, but we want to start with the news, and then we will sort of work backward, go a little bit, and then we certainly want to hear from you. So don't stop leaving your comments and questions, but we invite you to leave super chats, do super stickers, and become a new member. One last thing, if you received a new membership, consider giving one forward to somebody else. Pay it forward. I believe it's real. I think karma is a real thing. And the more positivity you put into the world, as Moen is very good at, the more you get back. And I think that is rewarded. So if you want to give somebody else a gifted membership, I think it'll make you feel better, if anything else. Okay, Moen, I'm going to give you, let's see here. Let's bring this up. So you sent me the link for this one, and it's kind of right in the middle. Let me quickly paraphrase, and then we can dive into these quotes. So Ross Dellinger saying there's a brewing public spat in the Big 12, and it is between Cody Campbell and Brett Yormark. We'll start there. His quote is from actually Brett Yormark. He says, Cody Campbell does not run the Big 12. Brett Yormark tells the Avalanche-Journal. And we can get into this in more detail, certainly, as you want to. But there's 2 things I think about this. One, it's ridiculous. He feels so threatened that he has to comment about Cody Campbell at all. He's the commissioner. Cody isn't. He sort of roundabout reports, if you really were to draw a line of representation. It is true the presidents and regents and the trustees, usually trustees, it's like a board of directors, drive these universities, which then drive down to hiring ADs and presidents, and those presidents hire a commissioner. So there is that dotted line responsibility. But what is Brett Yormark thinking, even engaging on Twitter? If he would have just let him go, bluster like Cody likes to do, and I like Cody. I've interviewed him. I think he's fun. He's engaging. I appreciate a lot of the stuff he says. Don't always agree with him, but at least he's working hard for what he wants, which is Texas Tech success. But like, what is you're president of a company and one of your employees goes out in the public and says, everything my president's doing is hurting our company. Now, nowadays, it would have a different effect than maybe it would 15 years ago when social media wasn't so prevalent. But Moen, you're the president of that company. What are you doing with this guy that's sort of maybe even a middle manager? Maybe he's not even some sub-employee. Maybe he's in middle management in some way or shape. You're connected. Why not just ignore him and then slap a fine on him? Tell Texas Tech to tell him to shut up or else, something like this. Why do all this?
Well, here's the thing. We've got to go back. Cody Campbell has been taking shots at Brett Yormark.
He has.
This isn't the first time. He released a commercial basically taking a shot at Brett Yormark.
Well, he said commissioners. He didn't say Brett
commissioners,
Yormark.
But Brett Yormark falls in that category. So that's the first attack when you're paying for a national ad buy, where you're basically shit talking all the commissioners in Power 4. Right. The second thing is Brett Yormark didn't tweet this. Cody Campbell's actually the one that tweeted. And Cody Campbell's actually the one. No, this is a response to a reporter question, is what Brett Yormark responded to a reporter from the Avalanche-Journal question directly about the Cody Campbell comment.
Okay, so I didn't know that. Hang on, let me make sure I get that right. So I had that wrong. I understood, and I thought I saw a tweet with it from him that said this. But if I read that wrong, that does change the paradigm a little bit. If what you're saying is this is the only reference to it, that's what you're saying?
Yes, this was in reply to a direct question from a reporter. Okay. So it's important to remember Cody Campbell actually tweeted first, and he did directly bring up Brett Yormark in that tweet.
Yes, West he did. Texas and that was from Cody Campbell.
Right. And we can get into that. We can get definitely into that on whether they should play on Fridays or not. But Brett Yormark then was asked by a reporter. Brett Yormark said, hey, Cody Campbell is not the commissioner of the Big 12. So, maybe Cody Campbell needs to step back a little bit and think about trying to influence conference decisions. And he's trying to influence conference decisions for Texas Tech. He basically wants Texas Tech to be exempt from playing Friday nights.
He does. But let me ask you another general question. Thank you so much because that does change the paradigm. I completely agree with that. I put a bunch of tweets out there, and they were all aligned with the fact that I thought Brett Yormark had replied directly. So that's a correction, and in the future I will behave as such. But the idea, that's what's wrong with anybody complaining about anything that's wrong. Just the complaint by itself shouldn't force the conference commissioner to respond at all. Regardless of whether he posted it directly or not, he should have never given the quote, is my point.
My point is Cody Campbell should never have made that post to begin with. If you've got an issue, he's the chair of the Board of Regents at Texas Tech.
He is
not just a booster. He actually represents Texas Tech.
I agree with you. Yes.
So I don't know that as a chair of a Board of Regents, that Cody Campbell should be saying anything.
But shouldn't that be controlled under some contract?
That's right. You call somebody. But
that's what I'm saying.
Cody Campbell wants to show his ass in public. He could have gone behind the scenes and said, hey, I don't agree with this. And Brett Yormark could have explained it to him. He didn't do that. He went right off the cuff, right to Twitter, right to X to get his ass pats and, blast him for scheduling a Friday night game for Texas Tech. I got news for you. Ohio State's played Friday night games.
No, it's a ridiculous notion. I get it, though. I understand the feeling from Texas people. But I also to all Texas Tech people, Texas is not the only state in the country where everybody says Friday night lights. Is Texas unique? Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. But at that same point, it doesn't mean you own that whatever Friday model. That's ridiculous. My high school plays on Fridays. Of course, Friday high school days were awesome, and they're great regionally. So I just want to get that out there. That by itself is just a ridiculous notion. I think every team that I've seen, except for maybe Michigan and Notre Dame, have played a game on a Friday, and I've certainly not seen every game ever produced. But the contention is kind of goofballish. Okay, you first tell us what you're drinking. 2, tell us kind of Cody Campbell, how much I know you're his best friend.
Cody Campbell, this guy thinks he's everything. His ego is bigger than Texas itself. And he is losing influence the more he squawks about stupid stuff like Texas Tech playing on a Friday night. Hey, guess what, guys? Based on our brand index, Texas Tech isn't even a top 5 viewership draw in the Big 12. Hello! Get out of here. Get the freak out of here, Cody Campbell. You can't determine nothing, man, just because you've got a penny right now. No way, man. No way, no how. So I think this is absolutely ridiculous. I think Cody can absolutely shove it. I don't want to see this guy's face anymore. I'm so sick of seeing his face. Look at his face right there on the screen. Man, look at it. He looks like Jolly St. Nick. Not. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on it. I'm drinking some whiskey tonight here, guys.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You feel relaxed. It's good to have you here tonight. I appreciate it. I know you got a tough week.
That was a good Ute rant.
It was. I couldn't find the rant button. I was looking for it and couldn't find it.
Gas is too expensive, and Cody Campbell has a punchable face.
Okay, but Cody,
look at Cody's face.
gas being expensive has nothing to do with Cody Campbell. Oh my Lord. Okay, I just want to go on record that of the two, I think Cody Campbell may have broken some bylaws or rules, something to do with the organization of being associated with the university like he is and how they relate to the commissioner in the Big 12. I am sympathetic to Brett Yormark feeling pressed by all these social media pressures. But at the end of the day, the person who made the biggest mistake in all of this isn't the guy that's advocating for his school to be Ohio State overnight. It's the guy who's sitting in the chair that is the one that is turning around and responding in public. It's a massive mistake. Any leader of a big organization knows if you're a leader of 1,200 people, let's say 10,000 people in all the Big 12, whatever that number is, he cannot respond to each personal attack on Twitter. It's a ridiculous idea, and all it does is open them up for things like this.
Are you talking about Yormark?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Again, I will put it this way: the reporter asked the question, "What was Yormark supposed to say?" No comment.
Yeah.
He was supposed to. I guess he was supposed to let the chairman of the board of regents of Texas Tech just keep dropping bitch cards on him on Twitter all the time.
Look, there's different way to handle that. A business handles those things differently.
I think that is a very diplomatic. Cody Campbell does not run the Big 12. Sums it up perfectly. I think Yormark was 100% in the right here. Cody Campbell showed his ass. Brett Yormark came out and said, "Stop showing your ass."
Tomorrow, I'm gonna wake up and say, "Hey, the sun came up in the east." I win the day because I say something that is already true. Anyway, we can talk about this forever. Yesterday, this was the talk of the last 36 hours. This has been definitely the top of the news up until about 3:30 Mountain, which is about 5:30 Eastern. And then we had something completely switch in the news, and it's going to completely put everything else in a different light because of whatever. If you think Yormark making an empty comment that really all it does is breed more contention in the Big 12, which the Big 12, what's the one thing the Big 12 doesn't need, you?
Contention.
It doesn't.
Big 12 needs unity, and that's just not happening right now, guys. There's not a lot of unity in the Big 12 at the moment.
You're exactly right, and the Big 12 could pay a massive price if they don't sort this stuff out. It's a petty fight, and anybody that can make Jim Phillips look smarter than Brett Yormark. That's a bad day. Anyway, Big 12 fans, leave your comments. We will get back to those. Moen will keep flagging them, and we'll talk about this as we sort of round out the hour. But let's spend the next little bit on this little baby. So I'm going to start with the very first one, and of course, it's a repeat of one of my tweets because that's how I roll. Copy link posted. This is an executive order. No, I'm not going to dive into the executive order itself. It's a bunch of... Anyway, we'll talk about the details. But this came out today, and it was actually titled Saving College Forts. So this executive order has certain details in it. We're going to walk through them right now. And then we're going to talk about what this, if it means anything, what it means to you guys, and sort of go through it. First of all, before I even dive into the different posts, Have you guys both had a chance to at least look at the social media around this from Mitt Winter or Darren Heitner or any of the lawyers?
No, sum it up. I haven't had a chance to look at it.
So I will tell you, that was a trick question. Here we go. Mitt Winter, here is the post. And by the way, Ute and I did not practice that. I promise you. That was totally ad hominem. All right, here we go. Here's the post. This is the one you should really go to. The other one's kind of a joke. Mitt Winter, who has become an amazing resource. You can agree with his opinions or not. He tries to be really incisive and looks at stuff in depth. He's got a couple pages here we'll read, breaks it out. But his summary first is, among other things, the College Sports Executive Order purports to tie federal funding to compliance with NCAA rules. Hello, IRS. Hello, auditing. Hello, Attorney General. There's all kinds of things the executive order or executive branch has in control of in the federal government. So you don't want those guys coming knocking on your door. Directs the NCAA to create age-based eligibility limits. So no 40-year-old whatever. Appears to try and ban collectives. Again, this is just goofballish. And then directs the Attorney General to invalidate NIL state laws. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Directs the Attorney General of the United States to invalidate state NIL laws.
Yeah, and who's the Attorney General this week?
For one thing, that's impossible. That's not how our government works. What I couldn't find, and maybe you have the link to it, Moen, is that it's just a bill. You know,
we'd get copyright struck if we
I know,
played
but
It's Just a Bill.
Everybody's seen the short though, right? It's just, I'm just a bill, a small little bill anyway. That's not how laws work. It has to go through Congress, then has to be signed by the president. That's it. There's no other way to do it. Executive
It has no teeth.
not,
it has no teeth. It's going to get challenged in court. You're going to have state AGs suing the federal government over this. I mentioned it in our group conversation. The Attorney General from Ohio is going to be really torn on this. He's got to choose loyalty, and I think he's got to appeal to the voters of the state of Ohio, and they're not going to tolerate taking away the collective that Ohio State has built over the last 5 years. They're not going to tolerate that. So he's going to have to figure something out, but he's going to have to challenge this. Dave Yost will have to challenge this. So, and he's not the only one. I'm sure AGs in places like Florida,
Utah,
California, Texas, Utah, any place that has NIL collectives that are basically funding these schools,
yes,
are going to challenge this. They're not going to get rid of their collectives. It's just not going to happen.
Here's some more detail. Age-based eligibility limits to promote fairness. I don't even know what that means. Doesn't define what those limits are. Participation in college athletics is permitted for no more than 5 years, with limited exceptions for missionary service. I found interesting. And other periods of absence. So basically religious exemptions for those that don't understand what that really meant. Professional athletes cannot return to college athletics, which we've had such a problem with in basketball. A prohibition on improper and financial activities. And again, this is nice to have a typo. Financial activities regarding student athletes, including collectives or other. Man, who typed this up? Entities or methods used to facilitate third-party and pay-for-play. At least they used the hyphens correctly there. Payments. And then this is, the Attorney General shall take appropriate measures further to meritorious actions to invalidate state laws. The Attorney General cannot invalidate a state law. That's the whole fight. State versus federal laws. That's why we have two types of organization in our government. Discriminate against out-of-state commerce, unduly burden or impede interstate commerce violation. I don't even know what that is. Why reference something that there's no way to enforce? Impair a contractual relationship in violation of or otherwise invalid under federal law. So essentially, at the end of the day, you ask the question, what does this really mean? I'm going to remove this for a minute. We're dealing here with an executive order that comes from a president that he's a TV president, right? He loves to be on TV. To me, it's more of a PR stunt than anything else. Wants to act like he's doing something. But at the end of the day, all three of us know anything that they put out from the executive level has to be codified by the legislative branch. And I couldn't find the little piece where I sent it to everybody, but the final note on the main page said, all this has to be done by Congress. So it's a lot of word salad for nothing that can be enforced, really. I mean, the federal government stuff, the attorney generals can try, but it'll all be lawsuited out.
I think it's fantastic. I wish that it could happen. It won't. I agree with your assessment, but it basically tries to unwind the clock 5 years, right? And bring it back 5 years to how it used to be. And there's a lot of people that wish it was that way still, including yours truly. So I wish that were so, but it won't hold up.
Moen?
Yeah, it's a good Friday to be a lawyer. Let me put it that way.
Thank you.
Because this is immediately, there are lawyers drafting right now. They looked at it and said, long holiday weekend? No, sir. Get right on that PC and start drafting letters on behalf of my client, this athlete, on behalf of
I'm not going to out this person, Moen, but I got a direct message from a very prominent lawyer that said, we've already got something written.
Yeah.
Already got something written. I just need somebody to take action.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the thing. They're all sitting there, my client, the school, this athlete, this state. You've got so many parties that are going to be actively in court over this. They're not going to tolerate it. I mean, I'm sorry. The haves are not going to suddenly just say, okay, we'll get rid of our collectives and our competitive advantage that we've spent 5 years building. No problem, Mr. President. We'll get right on that. I'm not going to apply for that 8th year that, I'm already in because the president says no. So I will go ahead and withdraw my NCAA thing says because I stubbed my toe in my sophomore year. I deserve another year of eligibility. I'll just withdraw that because this executive order came out, and clearly this executive order is going to. This is just so many court cases, and guess who pays for those court cases, guys? Taxpayers.
Right.
Yes,
you have government attorneys.
Right.
We're going to have to pay for. It's not even that it's a dumb executive order. It's we've got to pay to fight for it, and we're going to be fighting tooth and nail. I mean, I'm sure they're going to have everybody in the Justice Department. We can't figure out how to get the Epstein files out there, but we can figure out how to fight lawsuits related to this executive order. Well done. Well done.
I'm going to give you a little money dance down there, Moen. That was absolutely perfect and perfectly timed. I want to get to a few more posts that come from this because the details actually matter around here. We're having some fun, but this one stood out to me. Sam C. Ehrlich, if you're not following him, I will post his link. It's actually a retweet of a message from Ross Dellinger, and I will show that so everybody can see it. Here is the post from Sam, because a friend of mine, somebody, he's laughing, lol, and he says, if you don't know Sam, he is a prominent educator, lawyer educator up in at Boise State. Does some state stuff, and he teaches up there. Anyway, Trump's executive order also invalidates certain state laws. So, and I already read those. I apologize. I just wanted to get the lol in there. Anyway, I thought that was funny. Here's another one. This one is from, that is the Ross Dellinger quote. I'm sort of out of sorts because I got off cue. I did want to get to this. So now Charlie Baker, everybody's friend, Charlie Baker. I know you both love Charlie Baker, right?
It's a very nice name, Charlie Baker.
Charlie.
Friendly name right there.
Oh my gosh. This here's another post. This is from the NCAA News. It's a quote. The NCAA has modernized college sports to deliver more benefits for student athletes, and the executive order reinforces many of our student athletes' mandatory protections, including guaranteed health care coverage, mental health service, but stabilizing college athletics for student athletes still requires a permanent bipartisan federal legislative. So here we go. Right here, he says it right here. And I'm going to read this whole thing. Stabilizing college athletics for student athletes still requires a permanent bipartisan federal legislative solution. So we look forward to continuing to work alongside administration and Congress to enact targeted legislation with the support of student athlete leaders from all 3 divisions. So, and I don't have it up, but my little NCAA please to Congress meme that I created, this is just more begging for the SCORE Act at the end of the day.
Guys, isn't like the SCORE Act, doesn't that put caps around collective payments?
Yes.
Like
it does
this
stuff
is
like that.
like, so really like it gives more teeth on like the NIL and collective pay for play. The SCORE Act does that. And this executive order does the same thing, right?
Well, the executive order is trying to help Congress pass a law. That's essentially what he's trying to do.
But weren't we just talking about that there was like trying to eliminate collectives with this executive order? And like in Moen's point was that there's no way that Ohio State would do it because they've spent 5 years in building up a collective that's strong. Right. Is that not the case with this executive order?
Well, again, the executive order is like a big ideas list. It's like somebody walked in and did a whiteboard and then told his people, his programmers, go build this. This is my dream. Go build it. And it basically takes the SCORE Act and reconstitutes it in different words, but it's essentially the same thing.
What blows my mind about the SCORE Act, I mean, Cody Campbell is supportive of SCORE Act, right?
Yeah, I don't get that.
Because, like, I mean, Texas Tech is only relevant because of him and his money. And if the SCORE Act caps NIL and patrols it, Texas Tech's going to go back into the doldrums. Like, it makes zero sense to me. Like,
I asked him about it. I don't get it. I asked him that directly, and he didn't really give me a committal answer. I don't know. It is a bipolar thing. I think what they're trying to do is walk the middle line. They're trying to say, we give you a limited antitrust exemption, and then we have all these protections for the conferences and the schools, but at the end of the day, nobody's negotiating with the players or for the players or to the players. I mean, they don't include the athletes at all. We don't have sports without the athletes, guys.
Right.
Yeah. Can I just say this?
Don't have sports without structure either. I mean, like it's
sure. I think fair points both. Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead, Mo.
You gave me a great idea. I'm going to write a sitcom called My Neighbor Charlie Baker, where he's the wacky neighbor, and he just comes through the door like Kramer, like, oh, I got, this guy. I mean, come on. It's just, but to your point, the SCORE Act, they support it because they know they're going to gut it. It's not going to pass as it's written. There's going to be going to be cuts and snips and stabs and slices. And by the time that's done, collectives aren't going away. Guess what? They're here to stay. Pay for play is not going away. They'll just figure out a new way to do it. It's just like the mafia, guys. As soon as one racket gets busted, they got 2 more rackets to take its place.
I'm gonna get to one more post. I have others, but I'm gonna get to one more post.
We've got some super chats, guys, that we need to get to.
We do, and I'll do those right after this. I promise. I'm going to do those. One last thing. Everybody's favorite lawyer, somebody I really like. You not so much, maybe. Darren Heitner. Here's the post of the link. I want to give Darren credit. I think he is a very successful NIL and other lawyer for athletes, pro and college. This says it all, guys. If you're an athlete, he's basically telling the world, if you're an athlete restricted from transferring because of an expected executive order, he posted this right before the actual order was posted, then feel free to reach out. In other words, call me and we'll do some business. We will seek emergency relief as it is an illegal restraint and will communicate with attorneys general to support such efforts. They are literally warming up the gold to pour down somebody's throat. That's what these lawyers are doing. They're laying in wait, and it's like
a sales pitch. Sales pitching. I mean, it's just
Absolutely,
more sales,
sure.
right? More sales,
Absolutely.
sales. Lori. These guys are. I can't stand these guys. I can't stand any of them. Like all these guys. I mean, it's so freaking annoying to see these guys rule the day in college football and even get any attention. These guys should be irrelevant. Like, seriously, I don't want to hear these guys' names. They're ruining the game, man. I can't stand these guys. All of them. I don't want to hear about them. No more lawyers. Quit talking about lawyers and legal stuff in college football. It drives me nuts. It drives me freaking nuts. Heitner, go do your sales pitch somewhere else, man. Come on, man. Oh, these guys.
I just want to see the commercial where they go, have you been hurt by an executive order? Call Darren Heitner today for immediate relief.
One call, that's all, baby.
But what are we? Hang on now. You
could be entitled to compensation.
United States is, though. That's what the United States is. You might hate it, but it is the system that's built.
I just don't like giving it attention. Like, fine.
But the NCAA screwed this up 20 years ago. Let's really track back by not engaging with the athletes earlier to pay them, to not compensate them when the first video games came out. I mean, they could have been ahead of this 2 decades ago. I mean, the original sin lies with the NCAA itself and all the colleges and presidents and everything else. They're the ones who got us to where we're at. Blaming lawyers? That's like blaming ants for being ants. It's ridiculous.
I hear you.
There's like sales guys pitching and stuff. I don't want to hear the sales guys the spiel and everything. It's like, no, guys, get out of here. Get out of my sport while you're at it, too.
We all agree that the NCAA shit doesn't mean we should put up with flies.
Okay.
Yeah,
Moen encapsulates us and gets us to the end of the show. I love you, Darren. I'm trying to interview Darren. So,
Darren, I'm going to do a parody commercial. It's a parody commercial.
I got to be real about it. Like,
no, hey, look,
these guys become like mini celebrities. These lawyers.
Okay, anyway, Ricky Tungate in the house representing the Indiana Hoosiers, national football champions. Let's say that again. Indiana Hoosiers national football champions. That will be for eternity, Ricky. Congratulations. And I knew that was coming. I paused for you to get that up there. Ricky, we love you. Thank you so much for being here. And thanks for the $5 super chat. Very good. Thank you.
Read the super chat. Read the super chat, Nate.
I did. Oh, sorry. I didn't. Sorry.
This is for you. To Big 10 pound. Let's freaking go. Yeah, baby.
That's wait. I didn't read that already? Wait.
No, you didn't read that. You omitted that from your mind and passed it.
By the way, Ute, I'm going to need that $5 to get you into the Big 10. So that will not be going to Ute, Ricky. That'll be going right to me to advocate on behalf of Utah into the Big 10. Call
whatever
today.
It takes. Get the lawyers to start advocating too. You know, if we can fund
there
money and stuff,
no
petition over there. I'll fund that.
There is no wish casting.
Well, wish casting.
LCV versus the Earth. Oh, sorry, LC versus the Earth. I love that name. I enjoy saying it. $5 super chat says the University of Southern California. That would be the USC. Trojans does not recognize Donald Trump's authority. I think the state of California does not recognize Donald Trump's authority. What do you think about that one, Moen?
I think every private school, Notre Dame, USC, Northwestern, I don't think any of them are going to respect it because a lot of this has to do with federal funding for public schools. That's how they're going to try and control it, by controlling.
It is one, yes, that is one of the things they can do.
Public schools. That's going to be another issue. Yes, that's going to be another issue that the AGs are going to have a real serious issue with, because
I agree.
When you control that funding, you control tax revenue for local municipalities and the state.
I think we actually, you know what? There's always stories, and then there's underlying stories within stories. And I think of all this, that's probably the bigger one, because we know what happened last year. Trump comes in, and what's the first thing that he does? He goes to the education department, guts it. Well, he guts a bunch of groups. And then he goes and he takes money from a bunch of schools he frankly just doesn't like, or his lobby doesn't like, in research grants. And it's really, really hurt. I mean, some schools really went into, they had to go into their deep reserves because they didn't get the federal funding that they've been getting for a while. Now, I don't know, Moen, you're up in that area. Do you have any idea whether some of that's been restored? Has there been negotiations to get that stuff back?
A lot of it has been through Ohio State, and all the medical schools really in the Big Ten get a lot of money from private pharma for clinical trials and stuff like that. So I don't think any of them got like super.
Harvard did.
Right.
Columbia did.
Right,
I think Yale got hit.
Yeah. Those Ivy League schools got hit worse than I think anybody else. But
okay, all right.
The schools in the Big Ten, I don't know that they've been impacted much. But
Northwestern, maybe.
No, see, Northwestern's a private institution, though. I don't know how much federal funding they get as a private institution.
Yeah, I don't know. There's been rumors that they would attack private institutions too, including religious institutions.
I don't have access to that data. I mean, at some point we're going to get access to that, but it's going to take I think a year, a fiscal year before we get actual access to what the research spending is in the Big Ten universities from year to year.
Okay. Do you happen to have any? You've done so much research. I don't know. Maybe you come across something about the research dollars being pulled by the federal government.
Yeah, I think that all the research dollars have declined over the last year to 2 years across the board, and that's going to be the continuation until the Trump administration ends. And the new one. And
you think so?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
And then I think the research dollars will come back and everything for a variety of factors. But that's how it is right now.
Jeez. Yeah, I know it's big money, hundreds of millions of dollars, and yeah, that's tough. Very, very tough. Becky Go Huskies in the house, representing the University of Washington Huskies. Contribution to the collective for legal fees, Moen, $2. Put that in the kitty.
All right.
Okay.
Going right to the Ohio State Collective, Becky. Thank you.
Okay. LC versus the Earth again. Another $5 super chat. LC, first of all, thank you for all these super chats. We really, really appreciate you. And you've been a member before. I'd love to see you being a member again. $5 super chat. My favorite lawyer is Alexander Shunaraw. You guys know this person?
Not personally.
No, I
not
mean,
that I know of.
Posts or social media, and I don't know the name at all.
I don't get the reference. If it's a reference,
can one of you guys Google it, or is it a joke?
Is it a play off something, or is this a real person?
Okay, one of you guys. I'm talking here. Can one of you guys put that into a Google search or something and see if we get something? Look on X and just quickly look. So I want to give credit if this is a serious. I mean, it's $5 super chat, so I want to give LC versus.
I'm going to look up Alexander Shunaraw.
Shunaraw. I've never seen that name before. It might be a joke. It's possible.
Alexander Shunaraw is a lawyer, trial attorneys, no fee unless we win. Personal injury lawyer from Alabama.
There you go.
President and CEO of Alexander Shunaraw Trial Attorneys, which operates in Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He sounds like he is one of those guys that advertises a lot on daytime TV.
So
like
did I hear you right? Did I hear you right? Alaska, Alabama. Arkansas.
He is one of those aggregators. I have a feeling. Yeah, like he farms it out to local attorneys and he takes a cut. But so basically, he has a national. He has a national network. Okay. They have affiliates that work underneath of him. They'll farm it out to. So he's Alexander Shunaraw, but he might funnel it out to Moen and Associates legal firm. And then take a cut of it, So
that's possible.
He seems like an ambulance chaser.
You should chase him up and see if he would give us money to prop him up. I do advertise for him.
I will see if a lawyer will give us money.
Sponsor.
Send him he needs somebody. He needs somebody to promote him on YouTube. Send him a DM on Twitter.
I got a guy named Saul Goodman I'm contacting.
Okay, all right. Hey, I'm waiting. Evil Badger, CF72, that would be Ryan Willie. Praying for you, Ryan. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being not only a long-standing OG member of the College Football Mafia, but just somebody that we appreciate and we're always cheering for. Hope you're feeling well today. $5 super chat saying earlier this week, I told Greg that if I wasn't an evil Badger, I'd help him pick games this season, but I'm an evil Badger, so I can't help a mad Gopher.
Never help.
I don't know, Ryan, but you can certainly help me when it comes to picking basketball. I mean, Ryan's already won the basketball bracket. We haven't even crowned a champion yet. He's won. Nobody can catch him. It's mathematically impossible to catch him. But Ryan, I'm going to do the math on this and figure out where you're going to finish. I think you might finish in like the top 1% of brackets on ESPN. It may even be, yeah. He go look at his bracket. He picked. Wow. I think he's got 3 of the 4 teams are still in it. That he picked.
That's almost impossible to do.
Yeah, I mean it's impressive. But I've got to do. I'm just waiting till the finals, Ryan, and I'm gonna draw you up a trophy. We'll make a trophy and AI for you.
Well, that's a good idea.
We'll post it in the community section. But I want to see how you end up actually doing ultimately against everybody else's bracket in that ESPN thing. Because last I checked, he was like in the top 400,000.
Wow,
there's millions of brackets. So I mean, that's
hundreds of millions.
Yeah,
hundreds of millions of brackets. Because some people do 10 brackets. I mean, it truly is one of the biggest outside the Super Bowl. I think it might be the second biggest gambling event in the United States.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, FF18 Buffs, that would be Sco Buffs in the house. Good to have you here, Fergie. $10 super chat. Also, somebody who contributes around here. Appreciate you being a member as well. F the NCAA. First NIL case was 2004 with Colorado wide receiver Jeremy Bloom. It all comes back to Colorado. He could not play college football if he took NIL money from Oakley or others, so he stopped playing college football despite NFL talent. Now CEO of the X Games.
Wow. An elite skier and an elite punt returner. Jeremy Bloom was one of the best two-sport athletes I can remember. I loved watching that guy play football. This is wild. Yeah, it kind of speaks to the root issue of the NCAA just didn't evolve quick enough, and it got bit, and now we're in this situation. I wish it weren't so, but this is where we are. I'm glad that Jeremy Bloom's doing well, though. CEO of X Games.
I didn't have any idea that. I remember him playing. Yeah. I remember watching him. He was I didn't know he was a skier. That's new to me, but I did know he did he come to 2002 Utah?
He must have
been generally about the same time. Anyway, that's good. That's awesome. That's great to hear, and thank you for reminding us of him. I remember his name. I remember him in football. I didn't realize it was that wasn't NIL then. What do they call it? It was a sponsorship. I don't know.
Yeah, through skiing, man. Like they wouldn't let him have the skiing.
There you go.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hey, you know what we got to do, guys?
What?
Sounders.
Let's go.
Lots.
You got the show, Mo, and do it.
That one was for Ricky Tungate. Let's give one to the Trojan Man, LC versus the Earth.
Let's go.
Find it. Here's the USC fight scene.
That's old school, man.
Here's for Becky.
We need a big sounder. There you go. Let's go. Wind that sucker up. Let's go. Everybody make the trip to the University of Washington. Gotta watch. I need tequila. Still need tequila.
And then Sco Buffs. Let's do a little Colorado fight song.
Nice.
Very nice.
And then we've got to do one more for LC versus the Earth. Let's
go.
Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Do I have let him cook? I got to find it on here. I don't know.
Let him cook.
Although
him cook
Nate
now.
probably.
Let him cook. I said let him cook.
Did you hear that, Nate?
You completely went warp speed on me there. What? Say it again.
I said, did you hear the let him cook?
I did not.
Okay, you need to go to media assets.
Okay, tell me right now. I'll do it right now. So it's
media assets. Scroll down and look where it says sounds. You've got a little sound bar there. Make sure you're not muted or you have the volume down.
Well, it's medium. Am I supposed to make it up higher? All right.
You don't have it muted?
No. Well, I don't think so.
Okay.
It says loop track. I don't know.
No, you got to scroll down further than that.
I went to background music. More music, you mean?
No, you want to go to media assets.
I'm there. I'm in the window.
Scroll all the way down.
I am at the bottom, Mo, and it says background music.
All right. Yeah, you must have a different media assets than I do then.
I have a better media assets is what I'm guessing. Earl Carr in the house. Let's get a cougar in there, Moen. Let's get a cougar. Earl Carr. Go. I love it. Let's go. That is a BYU cougar, by the way. Earl Carr, I think, was member 2 or 3. Right after my parents. And Glenn, which I haven't seen for a while. But he was absolutely. Are you doing sounders over me because I can't hear him?
I had no idea where the soundboard ever was. I just found it.
You guys are killing me, Smalls. Earl,
Where's
no
the Badger
respect.
Sound? Where's that Badger sound, baby?
No resound. I'm sorry, Earl. I've lost control tonight. This has been.
Where's the Badger?
He has been there for 33 months. 33 months. Let's go. We got to give him something else. Give him like
look, look, there's a cougar on the screen right there.
I see the cougar.
There's a cougar.
Yeah, that's not enough. It's never enough for me, but that's how it goes, I guess. Earl Carr, thank you so much. Especially Ute and I been doing this the longest. That is absolutely crazy. You were literally like the first person out there that really caught us up, and we really, really appreciate you. I'd love to meet you. We haven't really done that. If you're in Utah County, man, let's go to lunch. I'd absolutely love to do that. Marcus Williams, member for what, Moen?
12 months, 1 year,
go.
365 days. He wants to hear a little hail to the victors.
Go.
Let's do, there we go. I will play this, but I'm doing it under duress.
Whoa, Nelly! Are you here for some noontime football? I can't do it, but man, I miss him. Marcus,
are you gonna have the Buckeye dancing? Come on, don't do that to Marcus.
That's disrespect.
That's disrespectful.
That is disrespectful. That is disrespectful.
I played the song.
Stormy Cyclone checking in from Iowa State land. Love Stormy, who has been a member for how long, you?
25 freaking months.
It's amazing.
I like fight songs. Oh yeah.
Let's do we have Iowa State in there? Respect.
Well, where's the Badger
Stormy.
sound? Where's the Badger sound in the media?
Not on that soundboard, you. It's not on that soundboard.
You got to be kidding me.
Nope.
Yeah, don't get. What are you doing? Giving him? You should have never told him how to do any of that. Now we're gonna lose control, Owen.
There's only like 20 sound bites on there.
There is. There's not many. Bob Swanger, representing the Penn State Nittany Lions, has been a member for another
24
months.
Thank you. We did not practice that. Timing was a little off, but that was perfect. 24 months. That is 2 years, people. So like us, don't like us. We're here to stay. I'm just telling you that right now. Bob said, oh, there you go. I love it. Man, a lot of energy tonight. I love it so much. Wow, Moen, I can't believe you played that.
Well, I played a Penn State sounder too. Sometimes there are Easter miracles around here, Bob Swanger, and that was one of them.
There you go. I love it. Becky Go Huskies checks in and says, let's hear some bomber sounders. Okay, 2 rules about bomber sounders. None of that crap that you were doing you set me up with last week. None of those. But the other ones I'm okay with. You better not do it.
No, he's got pimping ain't easy.
That will really piss me off. Those two are not okay. Anyway, go for it.
Why did you say them? Why did you say them? I didn't say them.
Okay. No, it's not. It's all out of context. You can't do that. It's not fair. I wouldn't do that to you. Anyway,
I got to turn the volume up.
Give Bomber some.
Easy, pimpin' ain't easy, pimpin' ain't easy, pimpin' ain't easy.
I can't even remember that one. What's another one?
Another Nate one. Let's see.
Oh gosh.
I'm not used to being taken advantage of.
See, I'm okay with that one. I'm okay with having fun. Let's give her one more. She asked. That's a popular standard. One more
Let me
time.
go deeper than that, you.
Okay.
Let me go deeper than that, you.
Okay.
But I can go
All
as
right.
deep as you want to.
That's so creepy.
You guys.
You suck so
This
bad.
sounds like Silence of the Lambs from you.
Yeah.
This is Silence of the
I can
Lambs.
go as deep as you want to.
Yeah,
That's
Put the
you.
lotion in the basket.
that's the worst. That's the worst.
This is the one thing that Ute and I have given up control with. We cannot control mowing. It's the one thing that we would like to do that we simply cannot. So bring spice to the game. Skaven, yes, checking in. Valuable member of the College Football Mafia family saying, Ute, how big will your disappointment be when the Utes never get in the Big Ten?
Oh, that's an interesting assessment right here. So, look, Utah's going to do whatever it can to get in the Big Ten Conference, but Utah needs to figure out like a long-term healthy plan too. And so I would push heavy for a Big 12 ACC best of the rest and see if that could work out. So that's I think that Utah needs to look elsewhere for a long-term solution. And it's not the Big 12 conference, guys. Sorry, it isn't. And so Utah's got to get out of the Big 12. It's going to be in somewhere else. If it's not going to be in the old Pac-12. The ACC will see it, but it's got to find out a long-term home for a long-term conference for the Utes. So if the Big 10 isn't it, then trying to see if you can optimize an ACC Big 12 conference.
Everything you just said, I agree with, because I think that is the best next that would be possible. Big Lubbock is first mowing.
He's first an hour in. Thanks.
He's certainly first in my heart, if not
There you
on
go.
the show. But good to see you, Lubbock. Give us in your comments. Let's see if we get some feedback from Lubbock about Cody Campbell. Love him. I mean, I know you love him, but this whole thing with Brett Yormark, a bunch of nonsense, or do you have some deeper feelings about it? I think it was all stupid. So,
Yormark needs some blame too, and we've given him.
I've given him blame.
Right?
I've definitely given him blame.
And this news of UConn and a new push for UConn to add UConn to the Big 12, that makes me sick, guys. Bringing UConn back up for the Big 12.
So that hold up,
freaking sick.
Okay,
Don't even. Go ahead.
I cannot even thank you. You and I are tonight. We are on it. This is something I've been wanting. I was hoping Moen would bring it up, but you bring it up is exactly perfect because the U is in the Big 12, BYU is in the Big 12, and at the end of the day, right now today, if the Big 12 had brought in UConn 2 years ago, each school this year would have made almost $3 million more than they're making right now because of all their basketball credits.
Yeah, the thing is, like a basketball credit's like a bonus. It's not guaranteed.
But they do them. That's what they do. It's the only thing they do.
Dependable base salary. Don't give me bonuses. That's nice and stuff, but give me the base salary. And UConn's base salary is well below a 1.00 brand index. No. I don't give a crap what credits, little bonuses you bring along the way and stuff here or there. No way. They don't warrant it. They're not a long-term fit. They got no football. No chance. No way.
Okay. Moen, do you have an opinion there before we move to the next one?
Yeah, I want UConn to join just to watch both your heads explode.
Well, man. Look, I'm all on the college football or bust boat. You and I, we disagree on a bunch of stuff, but that's one thing we're definitely aligned.
Yeah.
And if it's not college football, it's hard to see. But if everybody's just greedy for money, there is a path through basketball. So yeah, it does make me sick. Only because if UConn had gone 10-2 the last 2 years, I'd love to have them come in. If they are winning in football, beating Notre Dame, doing big things, I am all for it. I'll be the first one to be cheering for them, and we'll be promoting them. But right now, it is basketball only. And if Brett Yormark, in my opinion, has missed the boat, it's that he does not understand college football.
Yeah, he doesn't. And basketball only would make a lot of sense. I'm with you on that one. If they come basketball only, no problem at all. But bringing that football program in and giving them a full share, they don't warrant it, guys. They bring an occasional bonus and stuff, but they do not warrant it year in, year out. Like in basketball, isn't nearly as valuable as people are making it out to be. You've got way too much inventory out there, way too much supply, way too many games, way too many conference games across the board. The Big 12 isn't going to get some monopoly on freaking basketball, if you add UConn or not. It needs to get out of people's heads. Until the day that you take away the NCAA tournament from the NCAA, which might be Yormark's big idea, actually. Because if the
Just say that again. Back that up. Say that again. I didn't catch it.
Here's the swing factor, okay? The NCAA tournament. The NCAA runs it. They get a lot of the media rights go through the NCAA to the NCAA. They get $1 billion a year, right? If you can pull the NCAA tournament away from the NCAA and have the Big 12 involved, then maybe you get a bigger chunk, depending on how many teams you bring to the tournament that's not NCAA affiliated. Then all of a sudden the valuations change. And basketball truly does become more valuable than it is today, but not until you pluck the tournament away from the NCAA. Maybe that is Yormark's game plan. Maybe it's like, hey, we're going to work with the SEC and we're going to work with the Big Ten, and we're all going to pluck it away and form our own thing here. And this is going to become the new NCAA tournament. And depending on how many teams we bring, we get a big chunk of the pie. If that's the case and stuff, that would be an innovative idea. Maybe that would work. I would still invest a lot more in football, but that's the only thing that makes any kind of sense at all as far as why you go so heavy on basketball. Because if you want to see a conference that goes heavy on basketball, look to the Big East. They get less than $10 million in media rights payouts, guys. And if you do the math and stuff, the Big 12 is basically getting about $5 or $6 million in the basketball-related media rights today. So it's only about $1 million or $2 million off the Big East right now. There's not a lot of juice there in media rights, not on the base pay, like I said, just in the bonuses of credits. So really, you better pluck the tournament away from the NCAA if you're interested in really lifting basketball media rights across the board.
Moen, what are your thoughts on that? It's pretty insightful. I like that take.
Listen, he's looking to get into the New York market, though. It's not just about Connecticut basketball. Yes, UConn basketball is a huge brand. We all watched that game last weekend.
Jeez.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of supporters coming in there this week, but again, he's doing it for the New York market. The UConn brand, basketball brand, I think is still secondary to the fact that he wants to get closer to ESPN. Picking up a school in ESPN's backyard does that. Picking up a school in the New York market does that for him. So
what's going to happen is Yormark's going to take a different job as like the NBA commissioner. He's going to try to add UConn. If he does add it, it's going to be a cluster. It's like a team that makes no sense, has no juice with anybody in the Big 12. Well, it's like off in like the Northeast, man. It doesn't fit, guys. It doesn't make sense.
But it's not a dictatorship. It's not like Brett Yormark can just unilaterally add it. You need to have, 3/4, I believe, is the Big 12 bylaws. You have to have 3/4.
So let's work backward on that, Moen. Let's not lose that point. ADs have turned down almost every one of Brett Yormark's ideas. The ideas that have gotten through have been gimmicks, like the basketball floor. There has been nothing he's really done outside of rescue Pac-12 schools that were really in trouble, and then organize basketball to a point where it's the best brand in college basketball, and that's even arguable. But regardless, it is not football. It bottom line, it is not football, and this whole world is built on football. So
sure, it's built, and it would be nice if you could get power teams in your football conference, but you basically have BYU, Texas Tech, sometimes Utah, Colorado has been so up or down since Deion Sanders has got there. You got to look to where you can make money. And I mean, I agree with you. Football makes all the money, but are you going to be able to recruit a football power school into your conference? Is there a football
Nobody's
power
leaving
school
the
out
SEC.
there?
Nobody's leaving the Big Ten to join the Big 12. No.
Well, there you go.
We're
I
not
mean,
doing that. So,
yeah. So, I mean,
But-
basically, you either, but he's looking at it from the point of view that he wants to increase media dollars any way possible.
that's his job.
Yes.
His job is to propose ideas.
But he's not
right
going to
or wrong.
unilaterally just get UConn into the Big 12. I mean, he's still going to get blocked. But at least when he leaves the Big 12, he can say, I tried to do this. I tried to do that. I got blocked at every turn by my ADs, my presidents.
Yes.
There wasn't anything I could do. But going back to your point, rescuing the Pac-12 teams, let's not act like the Big 12 didn't benefit huge from adding the 4 corners.
I didn't say they
Oh
didn't.
my gosh.
But
Okay,
the Big
but-
12, they did bring him in, one, at reduced value. They all didn't come in at the same value that the new contract was. They were paid
What?
full shares, but that's not the same thing. And when they came in, where else were they going to go? They literally
Well, for
were
one,
refugees. Staying in
Colorado-
that Pac-12 was
Are you
not
talking
an
about the
option.
four corner schools?
Absolutely.
And the ACC was absolutely trying to go after them. You know that.
And yet,
And we went to the Big 12 because Yormark got on a freaking jet, came up to the University of Utah and begged Utah to join.
he was an
I'm serious about that.
opportunist.
I really am.
He was an opportunist and sniped him. That's how I look at it. We've been,
It's like-
what, are we
it's
2
like
years
it-
past
this
that?
idea there's no options. It's like, that's not true at all. It's
Well,
really not true. I mean, that's a nice little Big 12 narrative right there.
I don't know
It's
that
not real.
true. I don't. Okay. I mean, this happened years ago now, and at the time we had very resonant ideas and data to back up. But what you and I were both saying, I thought you guys were coming. You thought you were going to the Big Ten, and it ended up settling. You guys came to the Big 12. But at the end of the day, if the ACC would have offered better money, you would have gone to the ACC,
Yeah.
and they didn't. So that is the bottom line. Did they take advantage? Yes. Was Brett Yormark very opportunistic? Yes. That's his job, though. It's like we're anointing him as some genius and giving him credit for the 4 corners, including football, does not really make any sense if you look back on it long term. Because
Absolutely.
the
Listen,
football has not been what he's exploited.
Nate, he got Colorado to leave, which is basically what freed up the other 3 schools to leave.
But Colorado
the
was
first-
not going to the ACC, though.
No, I'm not saying they
It's
weren't.
what's
Colorado
the
was
alternative?
Colorado was in the Pac-12 while actively negotiating with the Big 12. So it's not like Colorado
Mate,
just
no.
fell in Brett Yormark's lap. He had to manipulate it. He had to do this. He had to promise them a little more money. He coaxed Colorado into the Big 12, which led to the instability that ultimately dissolved the Pac-12 as a power
Isn't that
conference.
his job? Why are we
It's
saying
his
that was
job,
some genius
but to
move?
act like it's just some something you do on a Tuesday at 3 p.m. when it's something.
Back up. It was all about the media deal, though. The Pac-12 turned down the money the Big 12 got.
They did.
So
I'm not saying they didn't.
okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do this now. The calendar said the Pac-12 was trying to get something on Apple TV. They were trying to do something with the Pac-12 network, and it was going nowhere. There was no way Oregon and Washington were going to stay. The media dollars were leaving. They were fleeing those conferences and schools. So now they are trying to find a home. So they have to follow wherever that money goes. ESPN brought everything. If Pac-12 had been smart and didn't listen to Utah, $50 million pie-in-the-sky type valuations, the Pac-12 would have survived. Bottom line, they would have taken from the Big 12, and we would not be talking about this right now.
I think
Brett
you just
Yormark
proved
did
my-
not come on and invent an idea. Hey, let's go get the 4 corners today. Let me scheme and go where the ESPN came to him and said, here's our offer, take it or leave it.
I think that he even negotiated like 2 years ahead to jump ahead.
He's
of
no.
the Pac
He
early,
joined
early. Yeah,
He'd only been with the conference barely a year.
He pulled a strategic move right after he got hired.
Yeah, I think you guys are giving him away.
It was very nefarious.
I think you're giving him not enough credit for what he did.
Oh, hold on. Okay. I said it's his job. What I'm saying is he's not some genius. The reason I'm so passionate about this right now is because at the time I told the world, you could look back at all my videos. I was a Brett Yormark cheerleader for how long? Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Until it became apparent he had no idea about football. When he turned down the offers to do guarantee seedings, and we'd seen the Big 12 get screwed 1 year in a row, and we could see this is the future. Brett Yormark screwed that up. He does not understand football. And if somebody can bring one idea right now, and will tell me what he did for football, for the Big 12, that has been something that is going to last once he is gone, I'll donate a bunch of memberships. Because I can't think of one idea.
Nothing significant.
Well, okay, I guess securing Utah was nothing significant.
Hold on. That's not
right.
That's not what we're talking about, Moen. Don't change it. I'm not talking about bringing the schools in. That is not part of this. I'm talking about a creative idea that actually protects the Big 12 so that they can get 2 people into the CFP, which right now in this universe, right now in this timeline, is the only thing that matters is getting into the CFP and winning games. And you can't do that if you only get 1 team in every year. Yeah, that's it.
And I disagree with Brett Yormark on that, but I'm still saying he did significant things to benefit the Big 12 in football and basketball. And I think it's funny that it's an about face that 2 years ago when he secured the 4 corners, it was
3 years ago when he secured them.
Okay.
And I was super excited and everything was going fine. That's when he came in and we didn't know him from Adam.
But yes,
we knew
true.
But you're in the Brooklyn Nets.
Your main beef is that he has cost BYU. If he'd have taken the deal, BYU would have been in the playoffs last year.
Of course it is. I fully admit that. I'm open and honest about that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, you're coming at it from a very personal point of view.
Of course I am. BYU. It's something I'm passionate about. There's no doubt about it.
I'm just saying
it's not my opinion about it.
He's not a different guy than he was 3 years ago.
No, that's not. No, again, you keep skewing it a little bit. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying he came in and the argument was he was a great booster, a creative guy, somebody who could generationally change the Big 12. And you know who saw through it from the very beginning was Ute. Ute came in and said, this guy's a carny artist. We can roll it back. Some of the very first shows, I don't like Yormark. He seems like he's just a car salesman. All these derogatory things. And for an entire year and a half, I defended him. I defended him every single time until it came to the second negotiations for the expanded CFP. And he did not do anything to fight for the Big 12 at all. In fact, he sold the Big 12 down the river, Moen. Everything past that point to me is null and void. He has done nothing in football. And I challenge the community. 1,000 people might watch this. I don't really care. Give me something he's done, and I'm happy to pay it back.
Again, securing Colorado created the instability that garnered them to be able to get the 4 corner schools.
That only happens if the ESP. That only happens if USC and UCLA leave to the Big Ten. That only happens if ESPN is turned down by the Pac-12. He did not force the deal from the Pac-12. The Pac-12 turned it down.
That is the timeline. But I'm saying he negotiated Colorado. Colorado jumped before the other 3 corners jumped.
That's not, but they had already turned down the deal at that point. They turned down the deal.
But
Greg
still,
talked about it in April or March.
He still had to secure Colorado away from the Pac-12. That still had to happen. That happened before Washington and Oregon left, and that's what led to getting the 3 corners. It did.
Again,
Colorado joined the Big 12.
History.
Colorado joined the Big 12 before Washington and Oregon left the Pac-12.
But that is not the point. Oregon and Washington were never going to re-sign with the Apple deal. That was never going to happen, and I said it at the time.
They were negotiating with both of them right up to the end. So
Becky was one of the first Husky people that came over from our show, from Greg Flugar, the Flug Empire, and she can back me up on this. I said day one, Washington, the minute USC and UCLA gone, I almost said the very next day that those 2 schools were never going to sign with the Pac-12, and I stuck to that, and I was right.
Yeah, I knew it 7 months before it happened, though.
But
my point
you and I are on the same page.
But my point is, they were still using the Pac-12 to leverage. They had not made that decision. They were still going back and forth. Again, I know you don't think securing Colorado is a huge deal.
Cosse's emails from Washington prove that's not true. The minute USC left, they were both the next day.
As was Stanford and Cal.
And that's great. None of that matters.
And every other.
Yeah, we can stop now. This was 3.5 years ago, and I started the channel because I have a crystal clear memory, as crystal clear as my kids being bored, that the reason I started the show was two things: BYU, Utah. I wanted to talk about the rivalry, and because I knew Washington was never going to the Big Ten. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Never going to re-sign with the Pac-12. They would have gone independent before they would have gone re-sign with the Pac-12. And that everything else is the fruit of a poisonous tree. Every other choice, every other option came down to Oregon and Washington did not want to lower themselves and stay with people that they thought they were equal with.
Let's read some super chats, Nate.
Okay. All right. Earl Carr says, well, are you ready for loss number 4 come in November?
Big game, the Holy War. I will be there, baby. It's a must.
Yeah, you got a second ticket. Take
get
me.
Off the skid.
You got to take me with your second ticket. I don't have another $500. Skaven, yes. In the house, go Big Red. Member for 16 months. I'm glad everybody's finding these membership buttons. Ooh. If you're a member and you've been around, Moen, how do they get to those really quick? Can you tell everybody how to get to these member comments?
Yeah, you click a little cash icon if you've been a member, and it'll allow you a free member message once a month.
There you
Every
go.
additional month you go on there, you get a little message.
We should talk about that more. It's something that everybody does. People go months without even knowing about it. I've been paying Greg for so long. I have never done maybe one super comment on his thing. Skaven, yes. Members for 16 months. Thank you so much, Skaven. 16 months, brother. We appreciate you. Do we have a sounder? Go Big Red.
Well, I will after you read this. Read it.
Would pay for a super chat, but Moen don't have Hell Varsity.
No, but Moen has this.
Wow, good job.
GBR, baby. Wow.
I love it. I miss Nebraska. I miss Nebraska a lot.
So do I.
More than it's probably natural. Stormy Cyclone, $5 super chat. Again, thank you so much, Stormy. Happy Easter. Win the Natty, Arizona. Yeah, let's give Arizona a little bit of a pub here. We are mostly college football around here, but basketball matters. We know that, even though you says it's not very much. Arizona playing for the national, well, certainly in the semifinal. The biggest deal about Arizona's news today isn't the Final Four. What is it? It's Tommy Lloyd re-signed. He turned down North Carolina, if you didn't know. And in turning down North Carolina, he also got out from underneath the athletic director at Arizona. A lot of people missed that in the news. He now doesn't report to anybody but the president of the school.
Wow.
It is extremely rare, and it gives him a ton of power. You want to say anything about basketball, Mo?
Yeah, I'm rooting for Arizona to beat Michigan and then Illinois to beat Arizona.
No, Arizona with national championship. Let's go. I'm in their part. Let's go. I'm all for it. Becky, go Huskies. I heard a $5 super chat. I heard Utah's brand value was inflated by Oregon, Washington, USC, and UCLA. This is from one of Utes' tweets this week. We could dig it up if you wanted to. But
we'll talk about it.
We will. Short videos. We'll do that in just a second. I heard Utes' brand value was inflated by Oregon, Washington, USC, UCLA, playing them all the time. And Becky, I'm one of the people that believes that. So I'm going to give Utes some time. You go first. Explain.
You got to win, guys. If you just
what is the context? Yeah, go.
Like then, if you get beat all the time, it's irrelevant. Utah is brand lifted because they're winning in the Pac-12. They were winning, guys. That's why they're brand lifted, because they were actually the league champions 2 of the last 3 years of the Pac-12. And so you're playing in primetime games. You're playing in bigger time slots. The old Pac-12 had better visibility at the biggest stage than the current Big 12. And so it's about impossible now. Nate, you know it. Like, you got one time on ABC versus Texas Tech in the regular season.
Yeah.
It's about impossible to get on ABC in the Big 12, no matter what. Yeah. Like in the Pac-12 era, that was more possible. So you could have big-time games with USC, Oregon, or whoever, in Washington on ABC, and that's just not even really an option in the Big 12. It's just the Big 12 is just not as big a platform exposure-wise for Utah, and that's why the brand values declined.
Moen, you want to add anything to that?
At the top
Utah,
end, guys.
Utah
I'm not
was,
talking about the mid end or the bottom end. I'm talking about the top end exposure.
I understand completely.
Utah was winning, except when it mattered in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, that's true. Losing those big games. BYU's done it 2 years in a row. Losing those big games matter. They matter in front of eyes. Perception is reality now. So anyway, one other thing. Wait a second. The other thing I want to bring up is promote your 4 shorts, Ute. You want to run through those really quick? Bring them up on the 4 shorts, the Pac-12 shorts that you did for the 4 corners.
Oh, I haven't recorded that yet, actually.
Well, what are the 4 that you just put out? Washington. Oh, I guess.
Yeah, so I did
Washington,
the Big Ten. The Big Ten.
Right.
Jump into the Big Ten. That's for Washington.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, and that's all. That's actually all packaged into the video that I put out this week and everything. And the Big Ten lied to USC, to Oregon, and to Washington. There's a promise that there was a brand increase that was going to be a given, and that really has not happened as far as like the true brand value. The exposure, the windows might have increased a little bit, but when you wash that all the factors out in the model and you look at the true brand essence, UCLA is actually worse off now than they were in the Pac-12, and that might not be trending anywhere, maybe down further and stuff. So it's very interesting. Look, those schools took the money. They wanted to get to higher ground because of the money. That's not the point of the video. The video is saying that the brand themselves did not lift based on that move. Outside of Oregon. Oregon's did lift.
Yeah.
So we talked about that at the time. Didn't we expect that, though? We kind of.
I think a lot of people didn't expect that. I think automatically getting in the Big Ten conference is just going to blow your brand up. That's what at least what USC was thinking.
But to be fair to Oregon, they won the conference their first year in, and they've been to the playoffs twice.
Right.
USC has struggled.
good.
Washington has struggled. UCLA is just UCLA. But, I mean, USC and Washington struggled their first 2 seasons in compared to what Oregon pulled off getting into the college football playoff twice.
Keep going on.
Thank you, Nate.
I'm just trying to grab the link and share it with everybody.
No, I mean, that's just, you know.
Yeah.
No, Moen, the model actually accounts for all that, though. It counts like what channel you're on. Like it counts your AP ranking, your opponent's AP ranking, 13 factors that wash it out. But really the big finding is that, and I think like intuitively we know this too, but if you win year over year and you win big, you're winning the conference and everything, there is an incremental lift in your brand. A small amount per year. It's not a huge explosion, but there's a small amount. So you either erode your brand or you lift your brand. And the platform that Oregon stepped on and everything just lifted that at a quicker amplifier than really anybody else could have had.
Nike.
And what it did, actually, the craziest finding of all is Oregon actually had this brand all along, but the Pac-12 just couldn't feature it enough. There wasn't enough exposure for Oregon. But now they get in the Big Ten, more exposure, bigger games almost every week and everything, and they've been able to kind of showcase really their true brand power. But USC's that's not the case for USC, and it's definitely not the case for UCLA, and Washington's an interesting one to see what happens with them. Are they going to become, a
9-4?
UCLA going to be a Northwestern, right? Like what's going to happen?
UCLA is Northwestern right now, at least, but Washington was 9-4 last year now, and they retain their quarterback no matter if it's kind of under contentious reasons, but.
The biggest thing with brand value, guys, in general here, wins and losses only matter in as far as you're ranked. Really, for brand value and for viewership and intrigue, our ranking means a lot more than your record. As long as you're ranked, you're relevant. The moment that you're unranked, even if you are undefeated, you are irrelevant. Like seriously, that's what all the research shows. Especially top 15, being in the top 15 is incredibly important to retain a brand status.
So Indiana winning the national, you think Indiana winning the national championship did not increase their brand value?
Oh, it certainly did.
Oh no, I didn't hear them say that.
I never said that.
He said winning isn't all that matters, but I would disagree. I would say win, and it matters the most. If you put a winning program on the field, you're going to increase your brand's value.
Well, yeah,
at the end of the day,
the correlation
watch
there, of
the
course,
winner.
when you're winning to get ranked. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to argue that. I'm trying to say, like, in the cases where you're not Indiana, maybe you're a G6 team and you're like 9-0 and you're not ranked yet. You're not getting, like, the difference between ranked and non-ranked is really the true determinant of your ratings, not your record. So, like, it's easier for Indiana and the Big Ten to get ranked quicker, but it's the more important thing is actually being ranked. Being a 3-3 team that's ranked is much more significant than being 10-0 and unranked.
You just described Iowa. You just described there's a few schools that do that every year, and they're all in the SEC and the Big Ten.
And so
Missouri is another perennial 8-4, 9-3 school. That's perennial. They never drop Missouri out of the top 25. I swear. They never will take Missouri out of the top 25. It's like they have to be there. And I'm not knocking Missouri. What I'm saying is the system is so screwed up. There's really no equity in the way that why are we even calling it a top 25 anymore? It is a CFP bracket from week 0, and everybody is auditioning for week 14, 15. At the end of the day, let's just throw the facade away and call it what it is. It's a tryout for a playoff, and then it's an invitational to a playoff. That's it.
Right. And like for the Big 12 in particular, for relevance based on like the fight of trying to get more exposure compared to the P2, the big threshold is the top 15. If you're out of the top 15, you're still kind of forgotten. If you're out of the top 25, you're completely forgotten and completely irrelevant as far as like the public eye. But when you enter into the top 15 and every ranking above that is significant. So that has to be the benchmark for every Big 12 team to reach for long-term significance for the Utes, for the Cougars, for the Cyclones, for the Buffaloes. If you can be top 15 continuously, that will lift your brand value. Like that's not like that's intuitive, but that's really what like the research says is the top 15 is the benchmark. It's not top 25 really. Top 25 is important in a different way, but top 15 is really significant.
We'll end it there. I agree with you. I think you're right. And I don't think Mullen disagrees. Ohio State's perennial top 10, so he's really got nothing to say. LC versus the Earth, $5 super chat. Utah should not have been in a conference alongside cast members of Landman. Who watches Landman first? It's one of the best shows. If you haven't seen
I watched a little bit of Landman.
Paramount Plus, man. Get it. It's a fantastic series. Have you seen it, Mullen? Have you seen Landman?
I got through 3 episodes and I noped out. I'm not a huge fan of Billy Bob Thornton, but the first episode where he's like, yeah, my 16-year-old teenage daughter can go sleep on the couch with her boyfriend. I'm like, that's unrealistic. I'm not that's not going to happen. No father is going to do that. Yeah, I understand that, but it tries to base itself as being raw and real, and it's just like, no.
Yeah, well, it's the guy who started Yellowstone. He's written all these TV shows now. I think it's really good, but it's better than broadcast TV, which I haven't watched in a long, long time. Bob Swanger says, I remember all the Big 12 people saying Yormark was the best commissioner there was. I was one of those people.
There was a time we all said that.
I was. I think even after the first year, you was starting to see some basketball stuff. He was trying to be aggressive. We thought he was negotiating on the back end for the CFP. And then what did we find out a year later,
that he's doing nothing and he's just trying to act like everything's fine and we're all equal, which is just everyone knows that's not the case. Get 2 CFP spots automatically. Don't try to pull UConning and get rejected. Don't have a stupid bright light basketball court. Don't like have this idea that we're going to build the Big 12 in Mexico and let's go play games in Mexico because we're so significant. They're nice pie in the sky ideas, but they're just not practical or doable and they haven't worked. And so he's just basically a big basketball hoops head, guys. Like he's a light leather basketball headed dude. So what he cares about, that's what he thinks about, that's what he obsesses about. Football is like the back burner to basketball in this guy's mind. That's just not going to work.
Appreciate you, Bob. Thank you so much. You're exactly right. It's nice being right. isn't it? Kenneth Maynard. Good. Representing Florida and the Eastern Carolina Pirates, right? I got that right. East Carolina Pirates, not Eastern. $5 super chat, also a valuable member, the College Football Mafia member. He's an OG at this point, Ken. UConn is more likely to be a backfill for ACC. Yeah, probably. After UNC leaves, they would rather be with Syracuse, Pitt, and BC. It's ironic because it is possible it is UConn, Syracuse, Pitt, BC in a conference that has lost their top 10 college football teams. So they would be a basketball conference. They would essentially be.
That's a G7 conference, though. I'm serious about that. That's a G7.
I'm serious about it too. I'm dead serious.
Like, and that's exactly who UConn's going to go to the ACC, and there's still going to be like a G7 level conference when that happens.
Moen.
Are we talking about the ACC or the Big 12 here? Because I think both of them.
This is an ACC. This is an ACC tweet. We're talking about what happens with the ACC.
I think when that happens, I think both of these conferences are going to be devalued to the point they're like a G8 situation, because I think the Big 12 is going to get robbed, and I think the ACC is going to get robbed. So
the best of the rest conference would do that. That is one of the ways that could happen.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one to pull off, I think. I think a best of the rest, an amalgamation, cut and bait. I don't know that that's going to happen.
Okay. That's fair enough. Let me get to this one, and then I'm going to let I'll let you guys take the rest of the show. I was excited to go through the stuff we went today. It was a fantastic week in comments, so I appreciate everybody being here tonight. I'm going to end on this one because Fergie's being very pointed, and I want to address it specifically. Nathan, CU got more money on day one joining the Big 12 than UCF, Tennessee, BYU, Houston, including $2.5 million bonus just to make the moves happen. Adding the G5 schools besides BYU was not a good move. I'm going to say two things. First of all, I never said anything about the value of the schools except to say that the Pac-12 schools in general, all four of them, took out less than they were going to get if it would have been a straight. They would have already been in the Big 12. The Arizona had to pay some money. Actually, didn't get money. Arizona State had to. Colorado's the only one that got the bonus, and it was honestly a conspiratorial bonus, a pirate bonus. There's any way you can put it. They were the first. And both you and I were very cheering about that. I thought that was great. Colorado coming to the Big 12. I thought it was going to be an anchor for the other schools having to come, which is another good thing. But this is how history works. In the moment, we react to things. I'm going to show Moen here. In the moment, we react to things as we see them, right? And then we take our experiences and then when we sort of build. We are 3.5 years later from the start of that process. We're almost 4 years into this channel, and there is no doubt in my mind that when Brett Yormark came in, first Bob Bowlesby bringing in the four schools, regardless of who they were, I think he had to bring in BYU. The other three, I think, they were trying to help West Virginia, right? So they bring in these other schools, and there is a big possibility that if they had not refortified after Texas and Oklahoma had declared they were leaving, that if the Big 12 had gone insular again, like they did before, said, we're going to go down to 8 schools, we're going to go down to 9 schools to survive. I can't remember where they would have been at after they left. It wouldn't have been tenable. And at that point, there is a possibility, and there were articles written, and there were doomsday, and all the OG 8 schools that would have been left in the Big 12 were worried about their conference disappearing. So to get to page 2, you have to pass page 1. So I don't care what the values of the 4 schools that came in the interim year was. Bob Bowlesby saved the conference that year. There was every possibility that conference would have disintegrated that summer if it hadn't added more schools. That is not anything that anybody could say could not have happened. Page 2 is you bring in the 4 corner schools. In my opinion, that was an obvious way to go. In my opinion, turning down the Pac-12, turning down ESPN, sealed their fate and left it to the Big 12. And Brett Yormark he's a smart tactician. He took it, grabbed Colorado. Everything else came with it. But There's no reason we can't look back on that and be judgmental. That's what we do, right? I can take my hindsight and look back and say, there was stuff there that was fantastic, but it was also his job. I'm a project manager. If I'm doing a project and I miss something and it just sort of goes on his own and then it comes out of nowhere, somebody bails me out by just showing up and have already done the work, that helps me out. That's great. I'm happy about that. But that doesn't mean I went out there and did really anything to make it happen. I'm taking advantage of an obvious situation, which is his job. I give him credit for doing his job. The wizardry stuff at the time, I have learned my lesson. I'm repentant. He needs to do football. I'm tired of talking about basketball in the Big 12. You're tired of talking about lawyers. I am tired of talking about Big 12 basketball.
Let's go. Let him cook, baby.
That's how it goes.
Look,
So,
let him cook. I think Kenneth Maynard here, he's got a really interesting, insightful message here. UCF, Houston, and Cincinnati should still be in the American. Big 12 didn't need them. More milkers. Nate just brought that up. Like, you had to have them to survive. But, like, it's in hindsight now, like, man, yeah, Houston and Cincinnati are rough. They're certainly milkers. Like, man, they're killing you. It is what it is. Like, yeah, Houston's good at basketball, but that's just killing you overall, the overall product brand in Cincinnati too. And like UCF, you can invest in Florida. There's some different thoughts there. BYU is a no-brainer. But, yeah, I mean, like, if things were different, you definitely wouldn't have added Houston and Cincinnati to the Big 12 conference, 100%. There's just no way to justify that now. You had to, I guess, you had to survive, I guess, right? It's just too bad that they got in, honestly.
I think ESPN said we're not gonna do this unless you guys can bring some. You have to be a little meatier. So anyway, everybody, you can disagree with me. I'm totally okay with that. I love the conversations, but I do want everybody to know I do change my mind. This is one thing that I look back on and I kind of regret. I was kind of like oggly-eyed. I was happy that BYU's finally in a, A4 conference, all those fun things. But it sort of blinded me to some things now that it's obvious that I think other people maybe didn't see either. People that actually are supposed to know what they're doing, not just some, guy. Anyway, thanks everybody. Appreciate you being here. I'm sorry I worked into your extra time, Mo, and I know you like to go longer. You and Ute have other plans tonight, so I appreciate you guys tolerate me to stay a little bit longer. I want to say thanks to everybody again. Have a happy Easter. Please stay safe. Support your schools. I would tell everybody to cheer for Arizona to win the national championship. That's who I want to win. And at the end of the day, just take care of your families. This is a difficult time in the world, and just be good to each other. Reach out to people if you haven't talked to them for a while. We talked to somebody this week that it just turns out really needed us. And I have felt so much better about being unselfish and trying to help other people than I felt in a very long time. And that really buoyed me up. So I would encourage everybody to do that. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us here, and Mo, and everything you do in the background. I really, really appreciate you guys.
Have a good night.
All right. Thanks, Nate. Have a happy
We'll
Easter.
see you later. We'll say peace out and go Liverpool. We'll see you later.
There we go.
Moan.
Got it here.
Pacifico.
Now let's do something here, because this is why Nate really wanted to get off here. Let's be honest. He didn't want to read this super chat because it proves my point. And thank you, Becky, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Washington and Oregon needed Colorado to leave to force the Big Ten's hand. Absolutely correct. I know people want to say that Colorado wasn't a great ad, or, it wasn't something special that Brett Yormark did, but getting Colorado, taking that Pac-12 media deal, these things were very important to securing the future of the Big 12. I think he should be applauded for those. I don't think that they should be diminished. Just my opinion. These guys felt the same way 2 years ago. I can't wait. By the way, make sure you guys tune in 2028 when Nate comes on here and backtracks and says Cody Campbell, he was enamored with them, and Cody Campbell He was oogly eyed. And Cody Campbell, So, but thank you, Becky, for pointing this out. This is what I was trying to put across. Colorado doesn't leave the Pac-12. You don't have assurances that the Pac-12 does not sign some weird media deal with Apple that includes Washington and Oregon. Yes, they were negotiating with the Big Ten, but they were also negotiating with the ACC. They were negotiating with the Pac-12. They were negotiating for the betterment of their schools, period. However that ended up, Colorado leaving did force the Big Ten's hand. It did get Washington and Oregon a better deal than they probably would have got. Fergie, member for 21 months. I missed the Nebraska rivalry. It has great value to all.
Colorado.
I missed the
Colorado
Nebraska-Oklahoma rivalry. Bring it back with a scheduling agreement. By the way, Big Ten SEC scheduling agreement this past week for volleyball. I take back what I said about Utah being in the Big 12 with Billy Bob and friends. Bring on Florida State.
Oh, man.
Barely any former Pac got ranked week in and week out other than Oregon now. Where did all those ranks go? Not to Big Ten. The ranks went to 10 SEC schools. USC was ranked 17 weeks of the last 2 seasons. You might say that's unfair and that USC gets the benefit of the doubt, et cetera, but being ranked for 17 weeks. Now, listen, we can talk about Washington. Washington has fallen from the heights that they were at with Michael Penix. Very true, but they lost their coach. They've been breaking in a new coach, breaking in a new offensive coordinator. I'll give Washington the benefit of the doubt, but USC was ranked for 17 weeks in the last 2 football seasons. So, I think there's another super chat here I want to make sure that I get. USD still would have left if Pac took ESPN's deal. Yeah, USC was gone before they offered the deal.
Yeah. Yeah, USC did the Pac dirty. They did.
Let's do some sounders here. Here's a Florida fight song. I haven't played this one in a while.
Stop it.
Here's the little flu.
Oh!
I am the milkman. My milk is delicious.
He needs some milk. He needs some milk.
You're a bad man, Moan. You're a bad man. You are a bad man, Moan.
Oh, it's quite pleasant, actually. It's like a gentle tug. Okay, slightly less gentle now. Oh! My udders are on fire!
I think we covered everybody there.
Yeah, I think we got everybody.
Let's talk a little bit about Utes' famous tweet from this week. The Big 12 should lean into unequal revenue sharing. Now, you caught a lot of shit, and maybe
I got it all week long,
so.
man. That's all I take. That's all I take, baby. I dish it, but I take a lot. I take a lot. Bring it on.
Yeah. So what? You got a little more expanded platform here, and we're going to get to some comments. I absolutely promise, but I want to make sure that I get this out here because I know you get limited to basically characters, and tweet doesn't do. You can't factor in sarcasm and everything else, which I don't think there was any sarcasm in your tweet, but I'm just saying. I'm going to let you defend yourself, or at least make a pitch, because it seems like a lot of the Big 12 fan base did not like Utes' idea.
Zoom in a little bit. I don't think we want to go through the comments. I haven't gone through all the comments. Okay, there we go. All right, here we've got a situation here in the Big 12, Moan, that needs more discussion. The revenue issue that the Big 12 has found itself in is untenable. The Big 12 is going to be making $31 to $32 million a year on average over the course of this media deal that goes up to 2030. And they're falling behind the Big 10 and the SEC peers who are in the 80 million, 90 million range. So really you're closer to a third really of the media rights. That's very hard to compete with year in, year out. We all know that. So what are solutions for Big 12 teams? Yormark's coming up with these different ideas. Some of them are playing bright light with the basketball court to try to get more eyeballs or whatever, more sponsorships that are just crashing and burning. So there's no ideas right now that are warranting anything that's going to change or to tighten that gap. And that gap is real, and it's going to mean more losses on the field versus the Power 2 and in playoff games. So the Big 12 has an issue. There is no solution today outside of you just having a Cody Campbell and just throwing billions of dollars into a collective. But guess what? Most of the Big 12 and the ACC does not have a Cody Campbell. In fact, there's only one Cody Campbell to do that. So what does another school that's in the Big 12 or the ACC, they've already gone this route, what do you do? How can you move the money around to make sure that your best brands are winning and can win playoff games and be competitive? And the answer to that is unequal revenue sharing. Unequal revenue sharing based on TV ratings, based on how much you deliver for a media contract. So mostly football TV ratings, brand index, basketball would factor in a little bit to that. Women's basketball would factor in a little bit of that. But you'd basically be funneling more money going forward to the top brands who are winning and the biggest brands in your conference so you can compete on the national stage and win college football playoff games to lift the brand for everybody else. This idea of parity in the Big 12 is whack. It's whack, whack, whack. There's too much parity in the Big 12. It's killing the Big 12. You need somebody to be a beast and win playoff games. The Big 12, if it keeps being this parity conference stuff, you're going to go into oblivion and be irrelevant. And so you need to fund the programs that have a chance of winning, the bigger brands to get bigger recruits to win playoff games. And so really unequal revenue sharing is a means to do that. It's the best idea rather than sharing the money with everybody in the Big 12. There are plenty of milk suckers that do nothing in football in the Big 12 that are taking the check right now. That money needs to move from them onto the programs that are actually winning and actually driving TV eyeballs right now in the Big 12. And so this is a real tweet, like this tweet right here. I'm not kidding at all. I'm not kidding. This needs to happen. The ACC actually has a model of what it could look like. The Big 12 needs to adopt it if they're serious about winning in football and not playing patsy in basketball. If you're serious about winning playoff games, you need to move the money to the biggest brands by going to unequal revenue sharing and investing in your biggest brands and not just letting the milk suckers be more even on a parity line with everybody else. That's doing nothing for nobody. And so you need to make this change soon. Thoughts?
All right, you heard it from you. It's whack, word to your mother, and all these other 90s rap phrases that he wants to bring out regarding this. But I just want to make people aware of this tweet. If you agree with them, you disagree with them, you go ahead and put it out there, retweet it, quote tweet it. Over 70, close to 70,000 views. Close to 70,000 views on this tweet. So make sure you guys take a look and comment on that. I'm sure that you would approve. We're going to get to some comments. We're going to go for about another 10 minutes here. We'll get to as many comments as we can to end it out. I want to thank everybody who left Super Chat.
Wait. Let's pause real quick. Let's just continue this conversation, right? So I had a rant there. But let's talk about really solutions for the Big 12. Like, so the situation, the financial gaps and everything. Not everybody has a Cody Campbell. In fact, the vast majority don't. So what are you just going to get left behind? It's just the boosters coming in to fund everything else and like all these gaps? Or what solutions do you have so that teams that are good brands can win playoff games in the Big 12?
Tom Dubé says you can't make steak out of hamburger. The schools got to make football better. And I agree with them. You got to make football better.
How do you make football better?
I see your solution is it's a money only situation. I don't. I think it's comes down to coaching. Yes, money helps, but I think Indiana's roster last year was probably not the best paid roster in America. Probably not. They did the best job of evaluating talent, signing portal talent, and they had a really good coach that got his players to buy in. But
So you think it's
Indiana,
just coaching? What happens when
I
Matt
don't
Campbell
think
jumps
it's-
to Penn State? What happens
I
when
don't
your
think-
best coaches go to Penn State?
well,
It's money
you
issue,
know,
man.
you got to
It is
come
a
up with
money
another
issue.
coach. You got to come up with
It's a
another
money
coach.
issue.
I mean, your coach,
NIL era, it's a
you
money-
guys denied your coach an extra year. You did. Whittingham is at
Utes?
Michigan right now. Yes.
What is it?
Whittingham
What is
at
it?
Michigan.
Do you think that Utah is going to win the national championship this year with Kyle Whittingham? Let me ask you
I don't
that
think
question.
Utah's making the college football playoff this year.
With Whittingham. Okay.
With anybody.
So if I pushed out Whittingham a year early, does it really matter if he can't make the playoffs this year?
No, but I'm
what's the
just
point
saying,
of
you're
keeping
saying,
him
what
around
about
every
you're
year?
saying
Yeah.
people taking your talent? Sometimes you're letting talent go. It's
got
not that he was sniped.
it.
You put
Triggered
him
me
on
a
the,
little bit there, Mo.
yeah, you put him on the bench, and that's going to happen. But I agree with Tom Dubay. I mean, winning solves everything. And I had this discussion with Ryan Thomas this week. If you don't like a narrative, change the narrative. If you don't like being the lovable loser, stop losing. And I'm not saying that there's something you can snap your finger and make a change. It has to be a wholesale thing where you buy in and, you know, listen, I'm guilty of it too. I wanted Ryan Day
How do
fired
they
before
solve
he
the
won a
money
national
gap?
championship.
How do they?
Again,
It's a money problem, Mo.
can't.
It's
You
not
can't.
just a talent evaluation problem.
Your
This is the
solution is the
NIL era,
ACC.
man.
Your solution is the ACC solution.
Yes.
Yes. But has it really benefited the ACC?
We shall see. It hasn't
What's the
actually
incentive?
started like the
What's
fun.
the incentive to the bottom 70% to fund the 30%?
Lose, and that's good for the ACC. So you can lift the best brands, so they have more money and they can win.
But that
That's
money's
exactly
not
the
going to
point.
you. But the money's not going to you as a smaller school. Wake Forest isn't benefiting from Miami winning a national championship. So what's the benefit for? How do you
They're
get
not
these
getting
other?
left behind.
How do you
They're
get
not
these
getting
other
left
schools
behind.
on board for revenue? The other schools in the ACC jumped on board because it was a life preserver, basically. They knew the ACC was dead. It extended it. It patched a hole in a boat, but that boat's eventually going to sink. I think everybody agrees on that. What's the benefit for the Big 12? The Big 12 is a stable conference. We can make arguments about their football prowess, but they're a stable conference. They're not. Kansas might get poached. Yes, Kansas might get poached. But I think Kansas is the most likely to get poached. And I don't think it's a death knell for the Big 12 by any means.
I think that the ACC method is a better play for football in the medium to long term.
Okay.
And like the way that you do that, I mean, basically the gun was to the head, right? In the ACC, like, hey, we're pulling away. Like you have no option here. And I think you might need to go do something that dramatic to get the change. But the financial gap is so large that you need to make a move, an aggressive move. And you can't have any milk suckers in the league that's not getting paid that much. Seriously,
So-
that's minimum wage.
Let future consequences deal with future consequences is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay. Bob Swanger says best of the rest with no brands. And that's, if Big 12 football was as strong as Big 12 basketball, you might have something. By the way, you never did answer it last week. Let's get into it again. Name the 4 teams you would remove.
I didn't name 2 of them tonight.
You named Houston and
Houston
Cincinnati.
and
Who are the other
Cincinnati.
2? Who are the other 2?
I'll have to wait on the reveal for those. Let's just pick on Cincinnati and Houston tonight. Let's do it. Cincinnati might be the luckiest freaking ad in realignment history. I'm serious. Cincinnati Bearcats, man. I cannot believe they're in the Big 12 conference. Shocks me. Unequal revenue sharing.
Tony Lawson says Houston's okay.
Yeah, exactly. They're okay. That doesn't pay the bills. Get you minimum wage or less than it.
Indiana played 13 players on defense last year. Indiana had a lot of talent come in, but they paid the most for the transfers last year. Still, I bet Indiana was not a top 10 team in roster cost.
How many Big 12 teams were like even close to top?
Well,
10?
Texas Tech and BYU were probably the closest.
Yeah, and BYU wasn't close to Big 10 rosters. And Texas Tech might have been. Probably, yeah, Texas Tech was top 5 roster cost, I'm sure. But like the thing is, like the money gap, Moan, is insane. Like it's insane. There's no way to bridge that. There's no way to bridge it other than doing unequal revenue sharing.
You is Grandmaster you, so you're not the professor anymore. Becky brings up that the G7 have more playoff appearances the last 2 years than the Big 12. Miami and either one of SMU, Louisville, Clemson, Virginia Tech will be in the CFP this year.
Give me Virginia Tech. Give me Virginia Tech.
bold.
Give me LSU, baby.
That's bold, but I think I do agree with you of those 4 teams. I don't know what Dabo Swinney's doing anymore. I just, it may have passed him by. He may be. I know he's not ready to hang it up.
Declining brand. Clemson
Yeah.
is a declining brand. It really is.
The ACC, Big Ten, G6, and SEC have all had more than one bid in the 12-team playoff in a single season. The Big 12 has not.
So this is just evidence on why something needs to change. Like Becky's right. Like the Big 12 football has been marginal. Like you need to get more teams in the college football playoff. And unequal revenue sharing is a means to try to fuel some of these teams to make runs. In my view, it doesn't help when Yormark doesn't defend his teams either, like Nate was saying earlier. Like BYU should have had a shot.
John Dry says BYU and Texas Tech could both be undefeated until they meet in the Big 12 championship game. The Big 12 might have 2 in this year. If you remember the bet, you eats the ass fruit if they don't get 2 in this year.
I did bet that the Big 12 will get 2 teams in this year, but BYU ain't beating Utah and Rice-Eccles this year, and they're not beating Notre Dame. I'm just telling you that. I really would be shocked to see either of those happen. So BYU's got a tough hill.
The problem with the Big 12 is that other than Kansas basketball, they have no national brands. I would argue that BYU is a national brand. Their LDS faith. I mean, that just, are you going to argue that? I mean, do you think BYU is a national brand?
I think BYU is a good brand. I think that they have a lot of people that watch them nationally, but it's definitely like in the mix between a regional and like international. Based on even like the ratings, trends, indexes, BYU is solid, but they're not on the level of like the Big Ten, right, or the SEC or Notre Dame, or it's significantly lower than that. So I don't know if it's a national brand. There's maybe a different way to say it, because I think a national brand, I think of Notre Dame, right, and like the top 10.
Right. Okay. It's a nationally recognized brand.
I think that's fair. Like, and I think that it's. Yeah, because of that linkage and stuff, that's an advantage for BYU.
Evil Badger says Baylor. Is Baylor one of the 4? See, Utes not going to make any. I'm trying to make Ute the most reviled guy on the college football internet tonight. Like I pointed out his unequal revenue share.
You just had to accept it.
Now
I can't hide these thoughts and these feelings anymore, Moen. I can't hide them anymore. You got to be honest about how things are inside here, okay?
Shonsky says,
be more honest.
Houston has been a lot better than Utah. Didn't Utah win 10 games last year?
11-2. Yeah, these guys in the Big 12, they just don't. They have their heads in the sand. Some of them, like, you know how often I heard this like on X this week and everything. That people don't even realize Utah went 11-2 last year. Like,
yeah,
like
I don't.
They still think Cam Rising's the quarterback.
I mean,
oh my gosh, man.
Yeah, I thought they won 10 games, but okay.
Yeah, they beat Nebraska. They thumbed Nebraska in a bowl game. Like the Utes had a great season.
And that's right.
This basically sums it up.
They played Nebraska without Dylan Raiola. I forgot.
They thumbed Nebraska in the bowl game. 11-2, that's a solid season, but like that's the thing is like this is the Big 12, man. It's what my whole argument all week long, especially on X. If you want to see the one that really pissed people off, was me saying that the Big 12 has eroded Utah's brand, which I'm going to make a video about. It's going to jar a lot of people, but that's true. It's 100% true. I've got the data and evidence to back it up, and like that's one of the reasons why Utah's got to get out of the Big 12. One of the many reasons.
By the way, I asked for that video. By the way, I think it would be interesting to see, not just for Utah, for Colorado and both the Arizona schools. But how do you answer this? How do you answer this charge that Houston has been a lot better than Utah?
I mean, like, honestly, I see it and like it doesn't really resonate that much. Like, so it's like, yeah, sure, whatever. No, like that's just not true. Houston, I guess Houston basketball, like, okay.
John,
okay, like, basketball is very little like headspace here for Wild Ute. Very little.
I think they'll beat Notre Dame. So he's calling his shot right now. Big 12 won't get 2 in the CFP.
I think they will. It's because they've been left out for the last 2 years. From time
I think hashtag ass fruit challenge you is going to be eating ass fruit in January. I think BYU has narrow national brand identity, but I still think they have a national brand identity.
You know, I do agree. Like with this, and like, and so then I think narrow national, that's a good description for it. Like it's good, and like there's a value add for the Big 12 to add BYU, no doubt about it.
Antoine Johnson, $2 super chat, says BYU is not on the same brand level as Iowa.
They're
not disagreeing with you, but I'm just BYU is a nationally known brand. People know BYU. Maybe not positively. It might be negative for some people, might be positive for others, but I think they're a national brand, a nationally recognized brand. Uh, 11-2 and can't beat BYU's little brother. Who's BYU's little brother?
I think that. Oh, I think that he's just saying Utah's BYU's little brother.
Oh, okay. Houston Metro has almost 3 times the population in the entire state of Utah. By the way, thank you, Antoine. I'll get you a sounder here real quick. Oh boy, I don't think I have an Arizona State sounder on here. Probably don't. We'll just have to give you a little movie trivia here.
So you cared whose ass it was and why it was farting, and I believe that time can come again.
What?
You never seen Idiocracy? Great movie. What is Utah's overall record in the Big 12?
I don't know. They went 11-2 last year. I was pretty proud of that. They've only been in for a couple pennies. And apparently anything that happened before the Big 12 is completely irrelevant in the Big 12 mind. That's exactly what we're going right back to the point here.
The Gophers will win the Jug Axe Pig and Bell next year. No, they won't. Come on. Let's be honest. Drake Lindsay has terrible throwing mechanics. I'm going to say it. He does.
The Jug Axe Pig Bell.
Yeah.
That is nice.
He's saying that they're going to beat Iowa. They're going to beat Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan. I don't know who the Bell is. The Bell is unknown to me. That might be Illinois. I don't know. We got too many trophies in the Big Ten. A nightmare scenario for the Big 12 will make us our last comment for the evening so we can get off here and celebrate our Easter weekends. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to thank and wish everybody a happy Easter. A nightmare scenario for the Big 12 this season is if Miami, Florida State, Clemson, and Virginia Tech are all competing for a playoff spot. ESPN's dream scenario. At that point, if that's the case, you might end up with 3 ACC teams in this season.
Absolutely. Yeah, that would be a nightmare scenario.
Yeah,
if you look at the Big 12 this year too, like you've got Texas Tech has a really easy schedule. they're going to be the clear favorites to get to the Big 12 championship game. I really think they get there. Then you're looking at other, like, contenders, looking at BYU. BYU's got Notre Dame. That's not going to affect them getting to the Big 12 championship, but if they lose that game, it's going to affect them getting an at-large. It's going to be a huge game for an at-large spot. And they've got to go to Utah. They've got Arizona. So they've got some roadblocks there. Utah has BYU at home. Utah has to go on the road at Arizona. Utah has a better path than BYU this year. Arizona is a tough schedule. Houston is a tougher schedule with a lot of tough road games, and so does Oklahoma State. If you just look at the schedule, makeup, and everything, it's going to come down to Texas Tech, BYU, and Utah again. I'm telling you. And whoever wins the Holy War is going to play Texas Tech.
I think depending on how BYU loses that game to Notre Dame. If it's a close game, I don't think it damages BYU that bad. If it turns into a blowout, which it could, and I'm sorry, BYU, I think Notre Dame is really, really good this year. I think Notre Dame's going to really do well this year, which I hate. But yeah, I think Notre Dame's definitely going to be contending for a national championship this year. I think Marcus Freeman his recruiting, his portal work, I think they're going to be up there. I want to thank Ricky Tungate, LC versus the Earth, Becky Go Huskies, the Evil Badger, Ryan Willie, Fergie, Earl Carr, Marcus Williams, Stormy Cyclone, Bob Swanger, Becky Go Huskies again, LC versus the Earth, Stormy Cyclone, Kenneth Maynard. Oh boy, we had a lot of help tonight. Antoine Johnson, Fergie, FF18 Buffs, Sco Buffs. I want to thank everybody who donated and supported tonight. Pop those membership messages. We love to see those. I want to thank everybody who joined us. Now, by the way, above your soundboard, is there a bar that says sound?
Yes, there is.
Okay. Nothing is background music. I don't know where he was at. Honestly, I don't know where Nate was at in that. So, but I'm pretty sure that if he could get to that tab and figure out where it's at, he's got his sounds muted.
Probably, most definitely. But
I want to thank everybody who came in here tonight. I'm going to hide that comment. Anything you want to share before we wrap up tonight, you?
Happy Easter weekend, y'all. Seriously. And thank you, community members. We're going to keep putting out the good content for y'all and stuff, insightful content, sometimes jarring content. That's just kind of what we do, who we are. That's who I am, at least. But I try to give good stuff, good analysis. You might not always agree, but we'll try to give it and make it understandable and backed up by evidence and research. So we appreciate you. We're pushing for 6,000 subscribers. So please, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that and subscribe to this channel, and let's go.
6K by May, y'all.
Yeah, 6K by May, baby. I love it.
6K by May. That's what we're going for. So for myself, for Wild Ute, we will cash out tonight. Sunday, no Mowing After Dark this Sunday. It is Easter Sunday. That day is for the Lord. So we will be back next Sunday with a new episode of Mowing After Dark. But other than that, I will see you guys. Well, we'll both see you guys, other than in our short videos this week, next Friday on the Big Freaking Friday show. Please have a safe and enjoyable holiday weekend, and peace out.